Quilter, and today is Friday, and you're probably thinking, was she crazy or what? Because she had a premiere and now she's having a live back to back. What was I thinking? I have no idea what I was thinking, but anyway, I wanted you to see that I have Jess with me, and I'm going to turn it over to her for a couple minutes, and she's going to talk about herself and her channel, and then she's going to tell you what she plans on working on, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to work on, and then we're just going to have sewing and chatting and a little fun. So let's go, Jess.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? Well, I started my channel this year. It's So Blessed by Jess, and my channel is all about just teaching. It's like the passion of sewing that I have. I just want to teach people and give tutorials on just simple blocks that you can do. I love creating. Um, like over the summer, you can go back and watch traditional quilt or block piecing that I did over the summer, and we created a quilt together. Um, what I have coming up is Vlogmas of in December, and we're going to build a quilt in December. I'm super excited about that. I've already started it, and I'm just absolutely in love with it. But yeah, I have a passion for just showing people my craft, and I really enjoy it. So if you have fun, can't ever be a second job.
That's right. Exactly.
Um, yeah, so today I'm going to be working on the Tea Cakes quilt, and it's by Beverly McCullough from Flamingo Toes. And Mona was working on it on her channel, and I picked it up and I started it. I just need to finish it. So they're all finished with their quilts, and I'm just a couple days behind, we'll just say. So
That's
it's
awesome.
fun.
I think that's really going to be a pretty pattern too.
Oh, thanks.
I'm just, you just have been making so pretty stuff lately. I just love it.
Thank you. This is the
Okay.
colorway that I'm using. Oh, I should probably show that, but
Oh,
that's the
that looks
colorway.
great. Awesome.
Yeah, and it's also Beverly's, like her fabric line. So
Okay. Well,
I
that's
love her.
outstanding. Loving
Yeah.
it. You have lots of, I noticed on both sides of you, you have this blues and light,
This is
looks
beautiful.
like cream white going on,
Yes.
and and the color of your walls and your shades of it.
I
Everything's just matching right this minute.
I love blues. Blues are my favorite colors to work with.
Yeah, I need to break down and make a blue one. I do have one I'm going to be making for a friends, since it's a
Yeah.
husband and wife team, and their name is Michael and Melanie. And you know, uh, sometimes you have a friendship that starts. Mine started with them on the internet in 1996, I think, or 95, somewhere around
Hmm.
there. And we have stayed in contact with each other all this years, all these years. So we're close to the 30-year mark of being of this long standing friendship. And we've met in person more than once.
Yeah.
And when we make our next trip to the United States, we're going to Syracuse to see them, and we're going to go across the Canadian line and see the Niagara Falls. And we're going to spend time with Michael and Melanie, because my husband has known Michael and Melanie almost as long as me, not quite as long, but pretty long time. And he has actually never met them in person. So
Hmm.
our next trip is going to incorporate them in our trip. But I brought them up because when Melanie has, you know, I've never had a best friend. Most people have best friends, and some people have best friends for their entire life. And
Hmm.
outside of Nikolai being my best friend before we became a team, I really never had one, because we never stayed in any one place long enough for me to build a friendship or a long-standing one. And then when we moved to Lake
Yeah.
City, people feared my father. They were scared of him. And so I could never have friends over to our house. So I never learned how to establish a friendship with
Hmm.
anyone, because it just wasn't possible. And then Melanie comes in my life, and Melanie and Michael were dating at the time. And the first time I flew to New York to meet them, I was a little bit afraid of Michael, because he seemed like this feisty man, and the
Yeah.
minute he hugged me, he was like this big teddy bear, because he's very tall,
Oh,
like
yes.
6'2" or 6'3". And when he hugged me, I'm like, you're not so bad after all. And he's like, did you really believe that I was this meanie thing? I'm like, well, you come off that way sometimes on the internet. And the only reason I thought he was that way is because, boy, don't you get out of line in his channel, because he'll kick your butt right out, because he wanted to make the channel safe. And
Yeah.
anybody that came in and gave anyone a hard time, he kicked their butt out and not think twice about it. He just didn't show much grace to people who were rude. But anyway, over the years, they've been there for me. When my husband died, some of you know how he died. Um, they were there for me during that period. It was a really rough time for me and my kids. Two of my kids were under the age of 18 when that happened. And then, as most of you know, my son this past year had been homeless, and Melanie and Michael have helped step up to the plate, and they've been part of my donors of getting things
Yeah.
that Thomas needed in his new apartment. And
Yeah.
when you have people like that who's working their butts off too, trying to keep ends meet, and it's not cheap living in Syracuse. We all know that New York's an expensive place to live, but they sacrificed some of their funds, and Melanie has sacrificed a lot of her time to sit with me while we brainstorm. Well, why don't we buy this from this place? Let's get it from this place, trying to cut corners and save money. And
Yeah.
they've just always been there, and I love them. And so I said something one day. I said, I wish there was a way that I could show you how much I appreciate you. You guys really don't, they have everything they want, and Michael was standing there listening to this, and he says, you know what? We would sure love it if you made us a quilt.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, so this year is, and there's no time constraint on how long it takes me. I already know that they want a quilt that's in blues and whites, or blues and yellows, and all tones. And seeing your quilts is really giving me an idea. And I found a pattern the other day, and I showed
Yeah.
it to Melanie, and Melanie showed it to Michael, and they're like, oh, we really like that one. So I just need to finish getting the dimensions from her bed, because she wants to drape a little bit down on the sides of the bed.
Yeah. What size
And
bed does she have?
a queen size.
Queen. Okay.
So I need kind of like measurements, because I have no idea how to plan this.
Yeah, at least
I just know how
108.
to sew, Let's
Yeah.
put it together. But I want to make sure that I make it big enough that it drapes over the way she would like it to. But
Absolutely.
outside of that, they don't care really what I do or how I make it or what pattern I make. But I wanted them to see, because they mentioned the blues. She saw my the one that has 480 half square triangles in it and 480 four patches in it, and it's
Yeah.
blues and yellows and turquoise. And they really liked that combination of colors. So she mentioned something about yellow, but then when I showed them this blue and white quilt, which is not quite white, it looks like it's a, tonal color or whatever you call it, they really like, oh, I like that too. So I think I figured out what they like, and we'll go from there. So yeah, and here I am talking again. So anyway, not to digress here, this is what I'm going to work on today or tonight. I'm still cutting out the fabric. But this is block number 8 for the Handmade with Ease paid membership group, which I'm a part of. So this is number 8, and I need to get this thing made tonight or by in the morning, because it's due by noon Eastern Standard Time.
I can show mine. You
and
showed me.
Yes. Look at hers.
Yeah. So I love reproduction fabrics too.
Yeah, I like them too.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to work on. In the meantime,
thinking about Syracuse, you need to go to thinking about Syracuse, you need to go to Hercules Candy Shop up there. Okay. I watch them online, and the next time I'm in Syracuse, I'm going. But they make all of their own candies in-house, and it's just, they have a YouTube channel too. So it's amazing.
Awesome. You'll have to share the link with me in my messenger so I can go have a look.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bet they know them, I bet. More than likely, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, let me back up here and say hello to everybody who has walked into the channel. Hello, Andrea, and Denise was here first, I believe. Oh, I can't see because of these things sitting at the top of my chat. All right, hello, Judy Smith. Hello, Tammy. Welcome. Hello, Joy T. Hey, Pat. Pat might have been the first one. So one of y'all were here first. I can't see because I can't go away to top for some weird reason. Who did I miss? Hello, Gina. Welcome. You're
Yes.
I don't know if this is the first time you've been here or not, but welcome, welcome. She says, "Hi everyone. My favorite colorway is screaming bright like Alice in Glass. You hear that?
Oh, Alice in
Right
Glass
in your,
is nice.
your face."
Yes. Yes.
Pat says, "I like most colors, but that's the hardest part of quilting for me, choosing the fabric." Okay, let me see what else. Uh, Judy says, "I went fabric shopping earlier today and now at home sewing improv house blocks again." Good, good. Hello, Joy T. And Gina says, "Look how nice Nightbot is being. Wonder how long it will last with you in the room. I've got your Subway sandwich ready for the breakout." Oh, was the bot acting out? I hope
I
not,
don't
because I
know.
thought I turned all those weird settings off. I said hello to Gina. Okay. Hey, John, welcome, welcome. And hello, Melanie Taylor. Welcome. So
Yeah. Hi, Melanie.
y'all vote on the
Yes.
poll and then tell us in the channel what your go-to colors are. And hey, Sandra K, welcome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and cut some more fabric. Do you want the
Yeah,
image?
I just want to know what kind of sales they saw today.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, what am I
Oh, I
missing
go
out
cut
on?
fabric.
Because I said to myself, I can't, you should see the closet over here. It is super packed. I was like, I have to use something. I just can't keep buying. So, but I'd love to hear what you guys bought, what kind of sales you saw. So that'd be amazing.
Black Friday, and I forgot.
Yeah, it is Black Friday. Absolutely. I went grocery shopping today, and that's about as far as I got into the world of shopping.
So you know what kind
So,
of Black Friday we had here?
what kind of Black Friday did you have?
So inside of Brucein and in Pacific. So in Brucein, frozen vegetables, you could buy 8 for 99 kroners. And in Pacific, it was 9 for 99 kroners. That's a
So you
good
have,
considering you pay 24 kroners per bag when it's not on sale.
yeah, okay.
So that was something I'm like, yes. So yes, give them to share with you. They should.
Absolutely. Ooh, gotta get back on the chat. Let's see here. Let's see, where did we stop? Oh, Missouri Star Quilt Company. Oops. Oh, stop, Jess. Okay. Soft squares. Oh, wanted a couple others, not this year. I need to not keep pushing my screen. Thank you, Joy T. That definitely was a pretty job block. Yeah, we're all doing all well. Joy T has some calendars. I'd like to hear more about that. Let's see. Happy Friday, Frank. Let's see. Math Geek says blue, green, and purple. Ooh, I bet that's a beautiful combination for a quilt. I love sewing with black backgrounds. So Tammy, I am starting to get into that a little bit more. Just the darker backgrounds, navy and black, um, with like some really bright pops of color or even just white. So it's just like that negative value, turning it around. I thought that would be amazing. So I always have so much stuff in the back of my that I want to do. I'm like, just put it in the queue. Maybe it'll pop back up again. But um is anyone doing the Missouri Star Quilt Advent box this year?
Oh, I forgot to mention about that.
Yeah. Are you doing it, Katy? Do you have that?
No, not this go around. Last year I was going to do it, paid
Yeah.
for it early, in fact, and it never got here.
Oh,
And when I contacted them, they could see where it made it to Chicago, and then
just disappeared.
and
It
this was I waited till I think it was the second week in December to contact them because I was just giving them a little grace to see if it was just
yeah.
because you know shipping has been terrible. And when I called them, she says, well, we'll send you another one. I'm like, no, please don't. It's too late. I wanted it for my YouTube channel is what I wanted it for.
Yeah.
And by the time I would have gotten it, it would be in January. What's the point? So I said, just refund my money. And this year they started taking money and, because I've been helping Thomas and
Yeah.
we had to sacrifice other things and that got sacrificed this go around. But I am doing the Cotton Cuts Rosa Your Way mystery table runner and placemats, the Rosa Holiday Your Way Stitch It 12 days of Christmas thing, and I ordered a Rosa Your Way batik box because I've been doing them since the first year they started that. Every year I get a box of those. Sometimes I'll get one box that's batiks and one that's cotton. This past year I just did batiks, and this year I'm just doing batiks because I couldn't do all of them because money's too tight.
Yeah.
So before we keep going, what I'm going to do with this block to start with, because I'm designing. This is me color designing as I go along.
Let's do it. That's what I did with mine. I figured out what was going to be the center, and then I just worked from there.
Build out. So what I'm going to do for right now is we're going to do the pinwheel, and then that square and what I guess you'd call a square and a square.
Yeah.
And then I'll decide what to do for that outer row. So it's designing out from the center. Okay,
Absolutely.
now we'll get back to it. Who else came in just now? Anyone?
Are you working with all your batiks for this quilt along?
Yes.
You're just working out of your batiks. Okay.
Out of my
I didn't know if you were using a particular line.
No, I have some fat quarter bundles that are from a particular line that are batiks, but I haven't cracked them open. I've been too busy working out of the open stuff that I have no idea what they are anymore. And some of the fabric is also from Soya. So do I know who the batik manufacturer is? No.
Well, yeah, either a lot of Northcott, they grab from there, and Marcus, and where else do they get their fabrics from? And now Riley Blake, with them being house designers for them. Who else do they grab a lot of from?
Well, I know they went and did, wasn't it Bali or was it?
Yeah, they do. What is that? I can't think of it. But
I know that they do get crates of batiks from overseas, from Indonesia. And so I don't know if there's a specific company that they buy the Indonesian ones, or if does that make sense what I just said?
Yeah, well, they must buy it. I bet it's from Northcott's or something.
Yeah, so I'm not.
And Micro Miller and Cafe.
Yeah.
They tend to have those lines available.
Yeah, so it could be from them. Either way, you can tell by a lot of times I can tell the difference from some of the batiks, and other times I can't. Robert Coffin's batiks are different, and so is Bali and Island batiks. Island batiks
Island, yes, they do have Island too.
Very vibrant in color, as the first Bali kind of goes from vibrant to the more I don't know, odd colors you see sometimes with them. And then there's the mix of everything else. So either way, I'm just in love with them. And I've been using, it's weird. I counted how many quilt tops and finished quilts I have in batiks now. And y'all, it's alarming how many I've actually made.
Have you finished them all the way out? Or
I have, let's see, I have 4 that are actually totally finished out. One of them I gave away. It was my first finished one. It was a friendship star. So I've actually given that one away to my boss for her 60th birthday. And so I did that recently. And normally I haven't really given any of my batiks away. But this time I'm like, let's just spread the love.
I like spreading love. It's fun.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to part with my Stronger Together ones because I'm really enjoying my Stronger Togethers. And I'm definitely not giving up my Sugary Dew when I finally get the darn thing quilted, But everything else will probably end up finding another home, only because you can only keep so many, and then it starts adding up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get back into the chat with you a little bit, but
Okay.
so we can talk to the people.
Yep.
Love the people, love them.
Me too.
So Joydy says that she is not impressed with Missouri Star, so she won't be getting them again. My mom and I feel the same way. We're both quilters and crafters. In the last couple years, I think this is going to be our last one. So she said she'd rather buy me a fat quarter bundle. I was like, I agree with that. Um, and then Gina says, "Oh man, Katie, I would have taken the box, especially since it was soft squares first."
Wait,
Tuck
what? You mean
the Missouri Star box.
yeah, I just didn't want to, because I there's a risk of it just I this past year and this year, these 2 years, this is 2 years in a row now that I have missed out on doing it. I did it for 2 years in a row, and I was happy with with most everything I got in it. I didn't, I heard a lot of people. It's interesting that people will say what they say, that they didn't like this about it or they didn't like that about it. I was just happy to get things because I don't have access to all these things us spoiled Americans are so spoiled with. So
We are not
when
spoiled.
yes, we are. If you think we are very spoiled. So
Yes, I am.
so when I get a box, I am just happy and feeling
Yeah,
blessed, and I don't care what was in it. But
love it.
yeah, you know,
I get it.
there's things in it that'll eventually find them way into someone else's home, because I'm not, like, I don't cross stitch, and I think they would
Mhm.
one of those I had some cross stitch in, and I don't have no idea how to do it. But I don't mind giving to paying what I call paying it forward,
Mhm.
just give it to someone else, who will enjoy it. All right, there was other comments in here I saw.
Mhm.
Shelby says, I can't figure out where I put my card builder's box, laugh out loud. I probably
Oh,
put them away when cleaning. Do you need a copy of a block, Shelby? Gina says, Katie, that block reminds me of a candy cane in the center. That would be so good in red and white. You're right, it would. Too late
Christmas
now. I'm
quilt.
already wait till you see what my interpretation is going to look like. But that is actually a great idea, and I might have to make one with those colors in the middle. Then
Mhm.
Gina says, Joy T, I know there's actually 3 items I would buy, and last year there were 2 items I wanted out of the box. I eventually got them. MSQC is way too much money for what you get. Y'all, the prices are
Just
what
yeah.
I don't know. They may make a little bit of a profit off of it. I'm sure they make some profit, but the profit's not as much as y'all think, because right now prices are just crazy on generic things that goes in that box. And even fabric's expensive. Okay. And then Gina says, no, soft squares. Didn't you say soft squares? No, I said cotton cuts, rows of your way boxes. I've never done soft squares. I interviewed her for the first time this year, or recently actually, and I didn't know she was a seller of fabric and advent boxes until she told me about it. So, and she doesn't have international access on her website, so there's that also.
Oh, that stinks.
She said they haven't figured out how to incorporate international shipping and things.
I mean, that is a difficult piece of
Yeah.
like, and it's like, how much do you take on comparatively for the other people?
Yep.
But I know.
When I found out cotton cuts would ship here, I about fell over, because I knew Fat Quarter Shop and Missouri Star did, and Fat Quarter Shop and Missouri Star are quite big companies. Kim's company is a nice size one, but it's not near the size of Fat Quarter Shop. And when she told me they shipped, I'm like, oh my God, for real? And that's why I started getting classic boxes, because I am so in love with the classic box, because you can tell them what not to put in there and they don't put it in there, and
Yes.
you can
I really
also,
like how they have that
yeah,
questionnaire at the beginning. So if
And
you're not into a certain type of fabric line, or they kind of feel you out a little bit.
yep. And if you decide that you don't like something that did find its way in your box that was part of what you said you were okay with, you can change it. You can also do what I did about a year ago, I guess. I said, can I have half my box in batiks? And I want the batiks to be bright, vibrant, happy colors. And she says, sure I can. So I get in that box, I am getting half cotton and the other half is batiks.
Amazing.
Instead of me switching complete, because they do have a batik box, but it's based on this. I guess every month is a different color based on the month. So there's a couple of months there where I don't care. Halloween year, the Halloween month, I really don't care for the fabrics that the manufacturers make for Halloween with the batiks. It's all dark and I want happy colors.
I know. It's just like when I did when I'm doing the Wild West, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
I wanted to try something out of my wheelhouse, and that's
Hmm.
why I picked Tombstone.
Yeah.
We'll see how it turns out. But I'm liking it so far.
Some people
Very
have been,
monochromatic too.
yeah. I was looking at that when we were looking at the colorway for the next go around. That red and black might be interesting for me to try because that's out of my wheelhouse. But I think my youngest daughter would like those colors.
Maybe.
She likes those gothy colors because that's what it reminds me of, goth colors. Joy says I don't get Christmas presents, so I bought it for myself. Gina says, Katie, did you watch Holly Smith's videos from last year's Advent calendar boxes? I don't know who she is. She showed one that was absolutely horrific with what you got and what they charge. Really? Do you know who she's talking about?
No.
It's Holly Smith. And I'm sure I'm not saying that properly. I don't know who that is. There's a lot of people I still don't that I notice that people mention that I don't know who they are. Hey Melanie, hey y'all, I'm trying to finish the lap quilt for Leanna, sorry. I'll listen in when I stop long arming. And then Gina says cotton cuts is 1.5 hours for me, but they aren't open to the public anymore. They are in St. Louis. I'm in Springfield, Illinois, between St. Louis and Chicago. I didn't know that they let people come and visit before they moved. And then Shelby says this year I started getting Hoffman Boutique Clubs from Fat Quarter Shop, and I have been really enjoying it. I'll have to go look over there and see what they've been doing for their club.
Yeah, I get the Moda Club from them.
Yeah.
And
then Shelby says for next PMQ, I'm leaning toward either the red and black, which you and I were talking about, or the white and black, something different from my usual choices. Yeah, because that's about that, and that tulip pink one's about the only one I've kind of been like, one of the granddaughters would like the tulip pink of that.
Well, I'm in the process of making Emma a tulip pink. Remember the Queen of Diamonds, that EPP quilt that came out about 2 summers ago now? I'm working on that. And so yeah, that's about as much tulip pink as I'll have, but I have so much fabric left. I'm gonna have to figure out another quilt.
Sounds
or
like
to make somebody.
Yeah, a scrappy quilt for someone.
Absolutely. That's what I really enjoy about Fat Quarter Shop is you pretty much get twice as much fabric as you really need.
Yep.
For the blocks.
Definitely. And it's
and yeah, it's beautiful.
That's the one of the
I don't know if I can sew and talk at the same time.
Positives to say about Fat Quarter Shop and their fabric kits.
Yeah. Have you ever done their designer mystery quilts?
Yes, I actually have one in there. I also have one that I didn't even start.
I did too. I didn't do this last one, but I did the 2023. I absolutely love that quilt.
I have one that I was halfway through that I need to finish it. And that's something I'm making a list of all these UFOs that were kits like the mystery for Fat Quarter Shop. I think it's time for me to pull them out of the tote, drag them out here, and let's get it done.
Get it done. That's what 2025 can be. Get it
Yeah, that's
done.
what I mean. 2025. Let's get it. Let's make a goal because I don't believe in New Year's resolutions because of the type of person I am. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm a major procrastinator, and I didn't realize this, but maybe it might be that I might be ADD and don't even know it. But anyway, I have anytime I've ever done a New Year's resolution, it's like setting myself up to fail, and when I fail, it makes me feel terrible. So I don't do them for that very reason because I don't want to set a goal knowing that there is a potential for me to get sidetracked and never
Hmm.
do it. And then
Well,
I'll punish myself for not doing it.
it takes 21 days to create a habit.
Yep.
So
Well, yeah.
just one little step at a time.
Yep. Baby steps.
I mean, and you have to think about it logically and like realistically. Could you really not buy any more fabric for the year and just get your quilt tops done that you have right now? Probably not.
Probably not.
Because
And that,
we see something shiny and we're like, yes, give it to me.
yeah,
I want it now.
exactly. I think it's
Um,
unreal. Is sometimes some goals are unrealistic because you're going to break them.
yeah. And so I love Corey Yoder fabrics and Sherry and Chelsea from A Quilting Life. And
Uh-huh.
every time they come out with a new line, I was like, yes, please.
Yeah, I want that. Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I'm collecting Sherry and Chelsea's A Quilting Life, their last few fabric lines. So Laguna Sunrise, Strawberry Lemonade, and then I'm getting Raspberry Summer when that comes out. And I'm gonna create, and they all flow together so well. I
Yeah, you can
love,
work them together.
so I'm
She was
gonna create a
talking
quilt
about
with
that.
all of them.
Yep. She on one of her podcasts they were talking about how they you could interchange their
Hmm.
lines with each other or intermix them actually, and
Yeah,
it all will work together.
and I really like how Sherry and Chelsea put navy in this next line coming out.
Oh, I
So
better go have a look at that because it might be one that leaps out at me. I really need to make another cotton quilt. I haven't. Yeah, I know the boutiques are cotton, but y'all know what I mean. I haven't made anything from cotton in a while,
yeah.
other than this Raspberry Kisses one that I had drug out for y'all, talking about what I wanted to do for the binding on it, and
Mhm.
that's been the only one I think actually that one and the Tetris that we not Tetris. What did we name that one? Darn it, we gave it a name, floating something. Anyway, those are the only two this year that I actually made out of cotton fabric, not batiks. Everything else
Hmm.
has been batiks all the way this past year.
Let's
Let me
see
see what we're
here.
missing here.
So Joydy says she saw the new PMQ colorways and she's leaning towards the blue or the red and the black. Um, Gina says isn't Queen of Diamonds from um, that fabric line. Ooh, maybe, maybe. I'll have to look at the tags and I can get back to you eventually. Um, Shelby, it's so true about fat quarter month block of the months. They have yes, loads of leftovers. Absolutely. Actually, I have one sitting. I just got one in the mail. I haven't even opened it up from this last month. I don't even know which one it is.
I want to comment
Um,
on Gina's comment about the soda. So,
oh, go ahead.
Gina says, I tried the 21 days of not drinking soda. I lasted for 15 months and then life happened and I started drinking soda again. Boy, did I miss soda. So, since you brought that up, I'm going to share something with you guys. Um, about 10 months before the pandemic happened, I went on a keto lifestyle. It is not a diet, it is a way of living. And you have to tell your brain that because if you call it a diet, then diets are like New Year's resolutions. You're going to epically fail because, we all do. And I
Hmm.
was doing really well at it. One of the things you have to give up that was the hardest thing for me to do because I don't know if it's because I'm an asthmatic that I drink so much. I drink a lot of fluid. So it's not unheard of to watch me go through an entire case of Coke, sugar Coke, 20, what is that, 20-ounce ones you can buy in the United States? Or is it
Yeah, 20.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
20 ounces. I could go through an entire case of those in 3 days. And you're like, oh my God, really? And in fact, the doctor had this long discussion because he says, I want to know what you've been drinking. Because when I was in the hospital with pneumonia, that first time my sugar levels were through the roof, but part of it was because I had pneumonia. And
Mhm.
and I told him I drink Coke. He says, how much do you drink every day? And I'm like, I don't know. I go through a couple cases a week. And he looked at me and he says, are you really for real? I'm like, yeah, I drink a lot because I'm always thirsty, and I can remember that I've been a thirsty child most of my life. And I'm still thirsty. I'm always thirsty. And
Yeah.
but I'm not a diabetic. And so he said to me, he says, you really need to stop drinking so much Coke and drink something else that's not got sugar in it. And so when I went on keto, you have to give up certain kinds of carbs, and one of the carbs is sugar.
So,
It
yeah.
was so hard to quit drinking caffeinated Coke that was loaded with sugar. But when I finally got off the Coke, and for a while there, I was drinking Crystal Light, and then I discovered that the Crystal Light had a sweetener in it that triggers insulin. So I'm like, okay, we can't be doing that because the idea is not to trigger your insulin while you're on um,
The keto, yeah.
Yeah, that's part of trying to it's part of getting you into ketosis. And if it's triggering insulin, then you can't go into ketosis because you're actively feeding what triggers ketosis. So um so I tried Coke Zero to see what would happen with that, and come to find out it doesn't trigger anything. And but for a while there, I was doing that, and then I switched over to stevia and brewed tea, which is my go-to these days. But I haven't had a sugared Coke since 2019. I am so proud of myself because even though I drink Coke
Congratulations.
Zero from time to time, I am not drinking a sugared drink anymore. I
Mhm.
probably will never give up drinking soda because I just love it too much. There's something about the taste of it that
The
I
bubblies.
find, I don't know, it's weird. It's soothing. And people
Yeah.
are like, I don't know what you mean by it. It's like crunch. When I was in the United States, I would go and buy soft ice, and I would spend all day crunching that soft ice because it was soothing.
Mhm.
It's just, some of us have weird habits, and mine happens to be that. So anyway, um, so you can switch how much you drink of it. I mean, because things have gotten expensive, I've cut back on the amount of Coke I'm buying. I'm still buying it, like I bought three 1.5 liters today, but that's been the first I've had in 3 weeks.
Oh,
I've
wow.
been I've been mostly making iced tea, brewed iced tea, and drinking that just, because I don't like drinking water at all. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. We all can do this and find a way to make it better without totally sacrificing everything you love to do. Gina says, I'm from the South, so I love sweet tea. My mother used to put a cup, 2 cups of sugar in a gallon of tea. And I
Oh,
couldn't stand
wow.
it that sweet. So I would go in there. I'm like, Mom, I'm going to water my tea down a little bit. She says, do what you want. And I would take it in the kitchen and put this much in the glass and fill the rest of it with water because I couldn't
Water.
stand it that sweet.
I get it. Yeah, I didn't have sweet tea until I moved down here. I didn't even know it existed. And I enjoyed it. And
Want to hear
then,
something
but
funny?
but now I don't drink sugar. So,
The first
yeah, go
time I
ahead.
went to the first time I went to New York, and Melanie and Michael took me to this restaurant, and we were ordering food, and I told her, I said, I want a glass of tea, and she came back with a coffee cup,
Yep.
a hot water, and a tea bag, and I'm like,
Yep.
no, that's not what I meant. She says, well, what did you mean? I said, I wanted brewed iced tea. She says, when you come to the New England states, you have to say you want brewed iced tea. You
Yep.
can't just say tea because you're going to get hot tea.
Yes.
Yep, and I would have never known that. So
I
talk
remember the
about a
first
learning
time I
curve.
saw, yeah. I mean, I worked at Mickey D's for almost 20 years.
Mhm.
And I remember my twin, she also worked in McDonald's, and she still does part-time, but she goes, Jess, they're getting sweet tea up here. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And she would make 2 buckets of sweet tea every day, which down here we'd make 11 just to get through lunch,
Yeah.
just to get through
Yeah.
lunchtime. She goes,
Exactly.
I can't believe that people want the sweet tea up here. And I was like, amazing. But
Yeah.
but they
I
don't, I
live
don't
in
think
the
they
Arctic.
serve it anymore.
Yep. I live in the Arctic and I still drink drinks in a cup
Yeah.
full of ice.
I don't like ice in my drinks if I don't have a straw. Like, I don't want ice hitting my face, like, just touching. No,
Yeah, I don't like it hitting my
I can't
teeth.
do
It
it.
hurts. I used to
Yeah.
could crunch on ice, but not anymore.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
But
Gina says she drinks 60 to 120 ounces of water every day. She drinks sparkling
nice.
ice and circle. Is that how you say that? Circle water? I don't know what circle waters are, but yeah. Yes, you identical twins?
Well, that's a very good question. We never confirmed, but I believe we are. She's a half-inch taller than I am. And that's pretty much about it. That's the only difference. I'm the good twin, she's the evil twin. That's what I always would say.
Uh-oh.
We're like night and day. But she's amazing. And um I wouldn't say that we were mirror twins or anything like that, but she is left-handed on everything, and she was forced to write right-handed. But I'm right-handed, like hands down. So, but yeah, it's good. I miss her. I do.
Around anymore?
No, she's busy. She works different hours than I do. And so she works in sales at a lumber yard. And um, so if anybody's in New York and they go to Curtis Lumber, you can talk to her. She's there.
How can you lose something you just sewed together?
Oh no, SpaghettiOs.
Darn it. Unless
But
I sewed 2 of them to the same. I don't know. Let's make sure I didn't. That one's
let's see.
single.
Gina asked Jess, have you seen the Grinchmas Happy Meals? They aren't available around here, but I saw them online. Um, I did see some advertisement for it. I tend not to go to McDonald's anymore for anything, but I did see some ads for it. I'm more of a Bojangles girl now.
You know
I
what the
need to go
first thing
fast
I do
food.
when I you know what the first thing I do when I get off the airplane in the United States?
You go to
Anyone want to guess?
Bojangles?
No.
Chick-fil-A?
Nope. The first
What
thing
do you
I do
do?
is either go to normally it's probably most of the time it's Burger King, but sometimes it's McDonald's. And
Yeah.
I get me a burger and a chocolate milkshake because those are the 2 biggest things I miss about our country. Because I have
Oh,
always been a hamburger crazed person who would eat between McDonald's and Burger King and be perfectly content with just eating that.
yeah.
All right,
Well,
this is not cool.
it's there somewhere. It's there somewhere. The machine did not eat it.
It's,
I don't
it's
know. I
gotta
can't
be
see
right.
it.
Yeah, it's gotta be right here somewhere.
Is
Unless
it one of the triangles?
it's this side that I sewed. That's the piece
Uh,
I'm missing.
hmm.
It could have
Interesante.
just
I don't know.
it couldn't have just walked off
It did.
unless it's up underneath Nora because Nora moved around. Come here, girl.
Hmm.
It is. She was laying on it.
She's like, Mom, I got it. I wanna.
Feel my little square, half square triangle girl. No, Mom, you dropped it on the floor and I just laid on it.
Shelby says the McDonald's in the Pacific Northwest have sweet tea. As once been given one by mistake. Yes.
Wow.
I really have to watch that. I never get the right drinks when I go through. but I don't
And
really drink soda anymore. But
what do you drink?
ooh, um, lots of Celsiuses. Probably
Lots
like
of,
one of those a day. Coffee is
oh,
pretty high on my priority list, and water. Yeah,
so I was sitting in that social small channel chat thing where they help promote small channels
yeah.
last night, and they were talking about energy drinks, and he says, "Is how many of you drink energy drinks, and how many of you um is there anyone in this channel that's never drank any energy drink?" And he truly didn't believe there was no such people. I said, "I have never drank an energy drink," and he's like, "That can't be true." I said, "It is true." And so he did a poll, and there was actually two of us in the channel that have never drank an energy drink. And he says, "I don't understand why you would not drink an energy drink." And I told him, I said, um, there was a medication that you could, and you can still actually, I think, buy it over the counter, that you can take for asthma that's called Primatene pills. And
Hmm.
it's a epinephrine in it. And that pill would have me, I would be shaky. My hands
Yeah.
would shake. My brain would feel shaky. Everything about me felt shaky from those pills. And so when I first met my first husband, he liked taking caffeine pills. I can't remember the name of those pills you could buy in the fast in the
The pharmacy.
small, not the pharmacy. You could buy them at any S convenience store. That's the word I was looking for.
Mm.
You can go in there and buy them, and they had them in a little glass case up on the counter.
Okay.
And I tried one of them, and that was the worst mistake on the planet to do. So I'm afraid that if I drink an energy drink, it might just give me the shake so bad I have a heart attack, you know? So I just don't mess with them.
When we were in high school, thinking about ingesting, but my friend would get espresso beans that
Uh-huh.
are covered in chocolate, and she'd say, "Here, have one, Jess." And that's what she would have during classes to keep awake. She would eat espresso
Oh.
beans. I'm like, oh, no, thank you. You have fun with that life. But
You know, people to use the Primatines for that same reason, but it's dangerous doing that.
yeah.
Because I never liked being on them because, but sometimes it was thought, because my dad wouldn't let my mother take me to the doctor. That's all there was. But once your
Mhm.
asthma, when you get into adulthood and your asthma tries to kill you, they tell you not to touch Primatine at all because it's not going to do nothing but make it worse. I think these little blocks are going to be cool looking. It's an interesting way to make a pinwheel.
Yeah. I like pinwheels. I like
Because
triangles.
they're having you do, what do you call these, quarter half squares?
Quarter half squares. Yeah.
And then you're doing this up top, and then you're going to make the pinwheel out of the 4 blocks.
Yep.
Oh, well, you already made it, so you already know.
Yeah. It's the Martha Washington block. That is what we're making.
Yep.
And
And
I actually have a video on my channel creating a 6-inch one or a 6.5-inch one over the
you make the
summer.
little one because I'm making the 8-inch
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Uh,
I am making the 12-inch blocks for
oh,
Donna's channel. And then I'm also making, depending on how the block that she posts, I'm making a few 6.5-inch blocks. So my quilt's going to be a little different than everyone else's.
I was going to ask, with the 12-inch blocks, aren't you going to end up with an enormous quilt?
It, yeah, because she's doing, what is it, 48 weeks?
Yeah, there's 48 weeks, and that's a lot of blocks.
It is. It is. It's going to be a
And
big one, but
I kind of think that 48 blocks and 8 inch is still going to make a good size quilt too.
yeah.
Um, Tammy says she's never had an energy drink. She can't risk the high caffeine.
Mm,
Gina says she's never had an energy drink unless you consider Coke an energy drink. I don't consider Coke an energy drink.
it has caffeine in it.
It has caffeine in it, but not caffeine like energy drink.
No, correct.
It doesn't even have the caffeine in it that a cup of coffee has in it.
I can't drink soda anymore. It just makes my mouth feel, I don't know. Can't, nope.
An interesting thing about coffee that I learned when I went to visit Melanie and Michael, um, I went one time it was in the spring and one time it was in the fall, but I think this was the spring because the weather was changing, which triggers my asthma. And I went to some friends by train, and they picked, you know, because they lived in New Jersey and they were friends of Michael and Melanie's too. So I was going back and forth between them for, you know, a couple times. And
Yeah.
so I spent the night at their house. Uh, they lived on a naval air bases where they lived at in New Jersey, and I was having trouble with my asthma. My inhaler, my prescription inhaler, wasn't doing it. Now Tammy, which is the friend, she was an asthmatic, so she had a nebulizer in her house because her asthma would be pretty bad, but she smoked. I didn't.
Mhm.
And by 3 o'clock in the morning, I knew I was in trouble. And I'm like, I kept putting off waking them up, and she got upset with me because I didn't wake her up sooner because I was suffering. And
Yeah.
I knocked on the door. I'm sitting on the floor on the door in front of her door because I didn't have any energy to be on my feet. And she's like, "Oh my God." And she blew up. She says, "We got a job to do." And she says, "I know you don't drink coffee, but you're not going to argue with me because I'm going to be poking coffee down you every 10 minutes, and you're going to be doing nebulizer treatments," which I didn't even know coffee helped dilate the lungs, but apparently it does.
Yeah.
But it was that or go to the emergency room, you know?
Hmm. That would make me nervous.
Yeah, you know, you never know with my asthma. You can be somewhere and it not bother me at all, and then other places it's just a nut house.
I remember one winter it was so cold that the doctor thought I had, he called it winter asthma, that it only affected me in the winter, but it was only that one winter and that was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, you're not telling me I'm getting sick.
I think the problem is it's humid, you know, in many states. Because when I
Yeah.
go to California, the cold over there, I don't seem to have much trouble with my asthma in California. But go to Florida or go to New York, and it's crazy the way it acts.
Well, the weather is drier over there.
Yeah, more
Hmm.
Mediterranean.
Oh,
It's too bad
yes.
it's so expensive to live in, you know.
Oh, they can be expensive.
I told
I
my
like the
husband
East Coast.
I love the East Coast too, and I was impressed by North Carolina, Raleigh. I'd never
Hmm.
seen Raleigh, and that four
Yeah.
was there for 5 or 6
QuiltCon.
days, and I
Yeah.
really loved what I saw. I'm like, dang, I want to. The next time I come for QuiltCon, I'm going to make sure I come more than 3 days early, just so I can go scooter poot around town, you know, because they had a museum there that if I'd have had the time, I would have went to it. They also
Hmm.
have two botanical gardens I would have liked to see what they
Yeah.
grow in North Carolina, and
Yeah,
best.
Duke University has a beautiful botanical garden.
Yeah, that's what I saw, and I'm like, dang it! I wish I'd have known
And
about this ahead of time, you know?
and that's probably about 25 minutes away from the city.
Yep,
Um, UNC has one too. I've never been to it, but I heard it's pretty too. But I mean, you are coming in February,
yep. So there'll be
so
spring
it'll be
flowers,
might.
like,
Um,
well, I'm thinking like tulips, daffodils,
yeah,
cherry
depending
trees,
on
and
our
maybe,
winters,
yeah.
depending on the winter. Absolutely. How mild it
Mm,
is.
yeah. But what I found interesting is seeing wisteria in flower all along the highways in North Carolina,
Mhm.
and huge stands of bamboo, and I'm like, I didn't think bamboo could grow that far north, but
Oh,
apparently it can.
there's plenty of bamboo around here. Anybody want to make something? Come on down.
That was a
Yeah.
surprise for me because I saw it in Georgia too, and I'm like, I learned something
Yeah.
new.
Invasive
Oh,
species.
yep, you can grow bamboo in those two states, even
Mhm.
as
And we
cold as
have,
it is.
yeah, and kudzu's taken over too.
That's a
It's
problem
just
that
gross.
Florida's still trying to wipe out. They're getting
Yeah.
closer to wiping it all the way out.
Wow.
See,
I don't know if it'll ever happen.
kudzu um, can wipe an entire area out plant wise because it hogs all the water.
It does. It's all over the poles and everything around here.
Yep.
Um,
but you have to burn the roots and stuff, and that's what they've been doing down in South Florida.
Okay.
You know where roaches came from in Florida? The
Mm,
little one, the little German roaches.
yeah.
No, that's not roaches. It's love bugs. That's what it was. They were
Love
doing an
bugs.
experiment in the University of Florida to see if they could find a bug that could annihilate mosquitoes.
And so they found the love bug.
So they brought the bug, which I think originated from Africa,
Mm.
and somehow or another they managed to escape their little enclosure, and
Mm.
that's why Florida has love bug problems every year. But some years are, oh, look how this is going to look. Oh my gosh.
See. Oh, your blues.
Yeah, let me see if I can find something sticking on.
Let's see here.
I don't know where my small design. Let me sew it together, then you'll see it.
So Gina says, well, if coffee helps your lungs, I wonder if a frappe would be effective. She loves a frappe. Well,
Oh,
it's
it might.
depending on how much caffeine is inside of it.
Now, yeah. I think part of it has to do with the caffeine and part of it's something in the coffee.
Yeah.
It's both of them together, I think is what it is. Because
Hmm.
drinking Coke doesn't fix it. But
And Gina
hot
says there's a
coffee.
lot of bamboo in her neighbor's yard, which is
Wow.
now in her backyard. I know those roots grow underground and you got to dig
Yep.
them out, burn it. You'll never get rid of it. Mow them. And it's hard
Yeah.
because you can't mow over them either. So that wood is so it's so hard. So
There's two types of bamboo, the kind that has rhizome, which is the one you're talking about,
yeah.
and the roots travel under the ground, and that's how they are able to have such big stands. The clump forming, though, is not invasive at all.
Hmm. Well,
But
we
I
have,
don't know that clump forming can grow up that far north. I'm not sure. I guess the only way to
I don't
see if
know,
there's any around.
dust.
But the ones I saw in North Carolina, some of them were enormous.
Hmm.
I'm like, look at all those cane poles just saying, come cut me and make cane poles from me, please. Judy says, I live in North Carolina, about an hour from Raleigh. I
Let's
love Raleigh,
go.
and I have small bamboo in my yard. We tried to get, oh, you already read that. Okay.
Yeah. An
So
hour south.
what
In
is,
which direction do you live away from Raleigh? I live directly west of Raleigh, Miss Gina.
so which one of you is going to tell me what exactly a frock is?
A what?
I'm probably saying frappy or
A
frapple.
frappe. So a
Yeah.
frappe, it's a frappuccino. So it's an iced espresso drink, and you can get it in caramel or it's so you take espresso and then you add either mocha or caramel to that, whipped cream and some drizzle.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know what it was.
Um,
I don't drink. I'm not a coffee person, so I wouldn't know.
I used to like frappes, and then they just don't do it for me. It's too much sugar for me. I can't do it anymore. But
My daughter has some kind of special coffee machine in her house, and she has these big tall bottles that have caramel and something else in them. And
mhm.
I'm thinking, look at all that sugar you're drinking every day.
Well, they have skinny syrup too. It's a company that came out for people that are like gastro bypass people, people that can't have sugar or diabetes. They have diabetes,
Uh-huh.
and I hear it's really good. It's really popular, so they have some really good flavors. Near Greensboro. I am just south of Greensboro, girl. What are we doing?
Yeah, you quilters need to get together.
I know. Like I would say come over here, but we'd have to go meet at a coffee shop somewhere. That would be amazing. To be determined the date that we will meet. If you want to meet me, I'm not going to push you in any pressure, but it's amazing. I love meeting people.
This block is a little bit wonky, but we're gonna go with it for now
Wonky's good.
because this could make a great practice block.
Hmm.
and then I can make a new one and it'd be all fixed. Because this is an interesting way to do a pinwheel, I can tell you that.
Oh, Reed's, I've been there, Judy. I've actually been in your town. There's a park over there that I brought my kids to one time. It was on a river. Well, we need you to have quilting friends, Judy. I got you, girl. I'm a teacher, so we need to go through. So I have that schedule I need to contend with, but I'm off most summers, like all summer. Oh, it'd be fun.
Let's do the summertime. I am so excited about being able to finally get to start flying to the United States through Nuuk instead of having to go through Copenhagen.
There you go.
So when I come for my 2026 trip, it's going to be through Nuuk and not Copenhagen.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, it will. It's me and Nikolai were talking about it today, because I was saying something about it just being 9 hours. He says, no, honey, you need to add all of the flight times. So technically I spend about 6 hours. I go from here to Narsarsuaq, which is 20 minutes. And then from Narsarsuaq to Kangerlussuaq, if we were doing it in the off season, that's another 2 hour flight. And then it's 4 hours from Kangerlussuaq to Copenhagen. So when you go to Nuuk, it would still be a 2 hour flight from here or from Narsarsuaq until our airport's ready, and our airport will be ready in 2026. So I may be saving more time. But anyway, when you get to Copenhagen, you get on an airplane to go to the East Coast, it's about 9 hours. If you're going to the West Coast, it's 11. And when we start flying out of so he said 13 hours if you're going to go to the East Coast. Just think, it's only going to be 6 hours if you count going from Narsarsuaq to Nuuk and then to Newark. So it'll be 6 hours instead of that 13. So that's half of that, not having to sit on an airplane.
Hey, I'd take that any day.
Yes, indeed. Not to mention saving money. Oh, yes.
The longest flight I've ever been on was 3.5 hours when I went from Chicago to Seattle.
Yep, that sounds about right going that way.
Yeah.
And it's weird how when you're in Florida and you want to fly east to west, it's cheaper to go north to west than it is to go east to west because they charge you more money for that. And I really don't understand the thinking behind why you need to charge someone because I think I've only flown through Texas a couple of times. So it's usually Georgia, North Carolina, Boston, New York, and one other place I've flown to. What was it?
Did you say Newark?
Yeah, Newark is in New Jersey.
What about Dulles?
Yes, I've been through Dulles too. Yep.
I can't stand going through Dulles.
I don't like Dulles all that much.
I avoid that like the plague.
It's like
I always get stuck. Always. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go visit my dad because he had just had surgery. And the only flights that I would possibly consider, it went through Dulles. And I'm like, okay, last time they lost my baggage, I'm just gonna bring a luggage with me, wash my clothes, whatever I need to do. Because I'm just hanging out with them for a couple days. So I'm there, I'm waiting. They load us all. Then there's like, I'm sorry, you have to get back off. We don't have a tire. They needed to get a new tire for the plane. And the tire, they didn't even have one at the airport. How can you have planes and not a tire to replace for a plane? Like we had to wait for somebody to fly to Dulles, like one of those on an airplane with a tire for us. I was like, no, ma'am. Never going through Dulles again.
Yep, not doing that. Yeah, I try not to go through Dulles if I can help it. Now, I didn't mind flying through Boston. That was okay.
I've never been to Boston.
Yeah, the flight going through Boston wasn't bad. I mean, because when we left to come back to Copenhagen, we had to do that little jaunt over to Boston, and it was not bad.
Hmm.
Trying to think where else. There's been some odd places where I've done like go from Jacksonville to this one place to the next place, you know.
Hmm.
And I've also flown into Orlando International Airport and then go to Jacksonville. But the last time I was flying into Orlando, Myra's like, "Don't don't set an air flight to go to Jacksonville. Just let me come pick you up from Orlando, and I'll take you up to Lake City." I'm like, "Okay, I won't argue with that because that gave us
Hmm.
time to see each other." And this last time when we were in Florida, we spent, I think, 6 or 7 days at her house because she's a little bit north of Tampa.
Yeah.
And when I realized how close she was to Lake City, I'm like, she was only a 2 hour drive. So it was well worth staying at her place for part of our trip, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's nice.
Save hotel, if someone's gonna offer to let me stay at their house, and we stayed with her before. She used to live in Orlando, and then we'd go to Disney, but changed their jobs because they both work for the VA hospital.
Hmm.
Um, both of them have different kinds of jobs, and she travels a lot for the VA because she does all kinds of things everywhere. But they moved their offices after the pandemic done something where their offices got moved to Tampa, so they had to go live there for a while. And they sold their house in Orlando, and now they bought a house that's in trying to think the name of Ridge something Ridge Manor, which is like not too far from the coast. It's like an hour and a half away from the coast, I think, something like that. It's a Gulf Coast,
Hmm.
and it's a really nice neighborhood she's in. They're not on top of each other, not like she was in Orlando.
Hi, Melissa. Welcome in.
Hey, Melissa,
Yeah,
it was
Melissa
interesting.
flies to Dallas when she sees her son because he's about 10 minutes from the airport.
Oh wow,
I've driven past Dallas up there. Let's see. And she's never had any issues. Well, I'm glad that you've never had any issues. It must be a me thing. It's okay though. I might try them out one more time if I have to, but I'd rather drive now. Like if I'm in the United States, unless I have to get somewhere really quick, I'd rather have my car with me.
I know the next time I come to Raleigh, I'm
Hmm.
getting a car because
Yeah.
it's ridiculous how much I had to pay for using a taxi and an Uber.
Oh, I bet.
The taxi was worse than the Uber.
Mm.
$20 just to go from the hotel one way to Walmart.
Oh, wow. Well, Walmarts are far and few between. Like they're really stretched out. They're not inside Raleigh, so
I would have just been better off to rent a car though, because it's at
yeah,
$40 round trip just to go back and forth between Walmart. The
absolutely.
only reason I even went to Walmart was because I was trying to save money by not eating out by going and getting food that I can make in the
Hmm.
hotel room. Because I didn't want to eat out every day. And somebody keeps texting me.
But oh, I know. It's difficult. So, yeah, whenever we go on vacations, we'll do like Airbnb so that I can go grocery shopping and we can have food.
That Airbnb we stayed at,
Yeah.
it was so nice, Jess. It was a 3 bedroom house. It
Hmm.
had it was fully furnished. It had one bathroom. It had a full kitchen, a dining area that was set off to the side of the living room area. It had everything that you could ever need to do things. And then out on at the back door, it had like a covered carport with a washroom off to the side, but it also had a barbecue with this killer grill out there. So you could have used that. You had access to all of that. And we say
Okay.
it was much cheaper to do the Airbnb than trying to get a hotel room right near the convention center. Because
Oh,
when I saw the
absolutely.
prices of the hotel room at the convention center, I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's too much money, $300 a night.
Mm-hmm.
It and we stayed in the Airbnb 4 days, and we split the money between the three of us, and so it turned out we were $225 a piece for the three
That's not
days.
bad.
Not every day. It was, so there's nowhere you could have stayed at a hotel for the price we
Oh,
paid for, by doing it like that.
not even a rundown hotel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it was well worth. And I was lucky because Christine, she seems to know her way around Airbnb, so she's the one that set it up for me because she came to QuiltCon too, and I thought it was cool that she didn't mind doing all the legwork because I absolutely don't know a lot about the Airbnb. I'm learning though.
Mm-hmm. I go through VBRO a lot when we're planning our vacations in the summer.
Uh huh.
And so that's the one I usually go through. I've never had any troubles with that app. So,
I used a couple Airbnbs when I was in Lake City, and the one house that I stayed at, which was a big house for one person, um the only complaint that I really had is you could tell it was an old house, but that really didn't bother me. And when I was going through the neighborhood to get to the house, I was like I'm like, I have lived in Lake City my whole life and never been through that area. And so it was a little shocking, a couple of the areas you had to go through to get to the house, because it was run down, a couple of rundown neighborhoods that you could tell needed some tender loving care.
yeah.
And the only thing is I was fine until I walked in the kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning to get some water from the sink, and sitting in the sink was little German roaches. And I'm like, oh no, I forgot what roaches look like. Look at this.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Look at the middle though.
It looks like water.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
So now
I
that's
really
the
like it.
center. That's the center. Now I have to decide what I'm going to do for the outer edges.
Hmm.
I'm
So
thinking,
is your quilt like a multitude of colors?
yeah, it's going to be very
Or
scrappy. I'm thinking
okay.
of using a dark turquoise. Let me go get the fabric to show it to you.
All
Maybe
right.
use turquoise and pink or something.
Maybe. Absolutely. It'll be pretty. It will be.
Here, let me stretch these out a little bit. Because these two colors are really vibrant, and I think that they might make the center pop even more.
Mhm. Which one are you thinking for the
Well,
points?
for the points, I think I should use the turquoise, and for the lighter color, use the pink.
Okay.
What do you think?
I like it. I like
Or do
it.
you think this is too much for this? I do have some lighter pink. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, let's try a lighter pink. I just a little bit more contrast with the
That's it. When
points.
you have those brilliant colors, sometimes it makes it look darker,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not what you're trying to shoot for. So I have this lighter pink here. Put that one aside for a minute. Put this turquoise up next to it.
It's probably the one I would go with.
Yeah, I think that light might be better. That way you got a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of offset going on.
Yeah.
Or I could just do a more yellow too. Pull the yellow.
Could.
Good. Let me get.
So, so many
Oh my gosh,
choices.
so many
But you
choices.
but you wanted pink. So I want you to, be happy with it.
Yeah, the pink
You
is.
were feeling it.
Yeah, the pink is something that will go with that turquoise. While I
Yeah.
was pulling out the color here as well.
Yeah.
This is the yellow that I use.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of think this might bleed into it more. What do you think? Or it
I
could
think
be,
it would.
this could be the background though, if you wanted it to be the background, you
Yeah, you
know?
could only, yeah, you
See,
could do
this could be
that.
the yellow background, which blends in with this part of it right here. This, what
Mm-hmm.
you call square and a square, and then
Yeah.
have the turquoise as the dark. That, and I could get away with doing it like that. Actually, that might work. What say
I
y'all?
kept mine the same colors. Like
Yeah.
mine's taupe,
Uh-huh.
but it's just a little bit darker than
Yeah,
the
I've been mixing
outside.
colors.
But
I think that's pretty.
oh, thank you.
That looks great.
Um,
Is all of the other blocks those same colors too?
um,
Can you
they
show it?
come from the, yeah, I can show you all my blocks. I have them all right here.
Let me spotlight you and you show all 8 blocks.
Ooh, all 8 of them?
Yes, you gotta show them all.
Yes,
So
Mom.
they can see what we've been babbling about here.
Okay. Block number 1, broken dishes. Oh, I don't even know all the names of them,
I don't
but
know
it's
the
okay.
names of them either, but that doesn't matter.
But yeah, so we have that one. That was block number 1. Here's block number 8.
Wow, that one is really in there.
And then there's another block. I really like pinwheels.
Me too.
Here's another block. You can
I
kind of
like
see
that.
my color scheme.
That is a cool, that's the domino block, right?
Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
domino was fun to make.
It was. Here's, this was fun to make
Ooh,
also, this
I
block.
liked that one too. I liked making that one.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I have one more 12-inch and then the others are 6. This was my favorite one so far. It really challenged me.
Yeah, I found
So
that
that
one
was the
challenging
second block
too.
we made.
Yeah, I made the 8 inch one on it and it looks like a circle. You know what? I don't know if I have any more of this yellow big enough
So,
because this calls for 5 and a, for that, for the, where you make the flying geese,
mhm.
it calls for 5 1/4 size block.
Oh.
I don't know if I have any more of this.
So I inverted these, but
Ooh, look
so I
at
made
that.
2 of each.
Those are
And that's,
right to left or left to right, whichever you want to
yeah,
call it.
that was this block. And so I have 2 of each of that. And then the monkey wrench. I inverted that one too. I'm not really happy with the green, but I think it's because there's stripes in it and my stripes are off. And it's
Mm-hmm.
really throwing my brain, but it's okay. I shall
Yep.
live. No one's gonna know when I finish it.
Hey,
So that's all
Michelle.
of them so far.
Um,
Boop.
Shelby, can you rewrite your sentence? You said the light looks like a warm pink rather than a cool pink to me. I don't
Yeah.
understand what you mean.
All right, you can take me off the big screen.
Are you saying this is a cool pink and this one's a warm pink, or what are you saying?
Here, Katie, you can take me off the big screen.
Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it?
Thanks. Love
So
it,
are
but
you
don't love
saying
it.
so are you saying this is a cool pink or a warm pink, or this one's the cool? See, when you put this darker pink up here with this turquoise, sometimes I understand what my mom was talking about. Sometimes when you put a cool color with a warm color, which this is warm, I guess. Sometimes if it's the right hue or shade, it makes it look darker
Yeah.
by doing that. The light pink looks like it has undertones of yellow rather than undertones of blue.
Yeah, I can see the yellow in it a little. Yeah, I can see
I
what
hadn't even
she's
noticed
saying.
the yellow, but now that she pointed that out, I do see it.
Yeah.
I kind of ignored that a little bit. All right, let me see. Let me see one more thing because I just realized, and I don't think I have any yardage of this light yellow anymore because I think I used it all on. I don't know. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure I used it all when I was doing that pattern testing for Andrea. I
Let's
used
see.
quite a bit of that light yellow.
Grandma D has joined us.
Hey,
Thank you,
Grandma.
John. I really enjoy making those blocks.
I did too.
Thank you, Shelby.
I
And
had a
then
good time.
Shelby said that the light pink. Yeah, okay. Oh, you read that one. Thank you, Judy, for subscribing. I appreciate that. You'll get notifications about Vlogmas coming up soon. So
Now
you can just come watch me and check me out.
I think that if I use this dark, see, yeah, look at that. That's a big change in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much of a
Yeah.
change.
My daughter made these cookies. They're supposed to be cookies, but she put them in muffin tins. So I pretty much have a cookie muffin. Delicious. I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to gain like 10 pounds before I go back to school. I'm just going to sit here and eat them all.
What about lilac?
Ooh, a purple?
Yeah, because we got blues and yellows, and lilac can kind of work with it too. All right, let's try this, you guys.
Well, it's on the opposite color wheel of yellow, so I think it would be a
Yeah.
good contrast.
Let's put that away. And I'm going to show you two different lilacs first, and then we'll try each one. Here's one type of lilac that has,
Ooh, and that has yellows in it.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And then I have this lilac that does not have that hue in it you just saw.
Yeah, it's more muted,
Yep.
but it's
Okay,
pretty,
so
but I like that first one better.
let's put that first one up here with the turquoise and see what it looks like. With
Absolutely.
the box sitting on top of both of them. And I am train wrecking my fabric, but it's okay. I can put it back. Okay, so we'll put this up here. And we'll put the turquoise.
So Denise, while Katie's doing that, it is a Civil War reproduction fabric that I'm working with. One of them's just by Pam Buddha, and you can see her line on any like Fat Quarter Shop or Missouri Star, any of those big house fabric stores.
What do you think about
Oh,
that?
I like that.
I think that would
Yes.
work, actually.
Look at you.
So we could use this for the dark part of the star teeth,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and the light color can be this.
Absolutely.
I think that would work.
Perfect.
Okay, got that figured out. All right. See, it's fun asking y'all questions.
It's a teamwork thing.
Yeah.
Look how awesome these people are. They're helping you out.
It's
They're
so
giving
much
you all
fun.
this.
Yeah, and you get them in there helping, and you come up with these magnificent blocks.
Yeah, because sometimes, I mean, when you're working, you don't see everything, and then all of a sudden somebody points something out, and you're like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
that was
I
either
didn't
an
notice it
amazing
was like
oopsie."
yeah, I didn't notice there was
Or
a yellow tint in that pink.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do know I like this color pink. The camera's not even doing justice to it because it's very vibrant like the turquoise is.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting how many shades and hues of turquoise there is.
Oh, yeah.
Some people would call this teal, but I don't consider this teal. It's turquoise. Denise says, I agree with the lavender purple. I like the purple. Yep, they're all liking that one. Okay, I'm going to press this, and then I'm going to cut what I need.
Right.
That is a pretty color, though, that's for sure. And
I'm glad you had it.
Me too. See, I got all this yardage, in back quarters, and it's not in a bundle or a fabric line. So this is what I've been making all my quilts over all year long, has been off this stash.
Do you use comic book like that cardboard in order to fold it? I thought I saw something like that when you pulled out some of your fabric.
You did. I have these. I also have bigger ones for I put a yard to a yard and a half on these.
Yeah.
And the ones above yard and a half, if they're 2 yards or more, I put them on a taller board.
Yeah.
And I don't have as many of the taller boards because I just hadn't got around to it. Because I only have I might have 20 pieces that might be 2 yards or more, 20,
Mhm.
25, but everything else seems to be a yard to a yard and a half. Because a lot of times I'll buy a yard of this and buy a yard of that because
Yeah,
because there's only certain parts of a fabric line I want, and I don't want to buy all of the whole thing. So I just order the yardage and go from there.
absolutely. Hello, Donnell. Welcome,
Hey,
welcome,
Donnell,
welcome.
and hello to Carissa and
Yep,
anyone
Carissa.
else I didn't say hi to. Oh, wait.
Yes.
John says, Katie, I told you that this channel inspires my designs. Yeah, he was talking about this. He does a different kind of design. He says, I have an idea for a book. The concept book cover design is kind of like a quilt. I came up with it after watching your channel.
Oh,
See, people
heart.
who are not quilters come in and get inspiration from us. And that is just the coolest ever. I'm going to press this
I
fabric.
know, just I love it how you can just grab inspiration from places in the world. We were at the 4th of July up in New York this year, and I look up on a wall and there's a mural, and I'm like, oh, that's my next quilt. And so I started taking pictures of it and drew it out. Or I drew a quarter of it out. And it's gonna be massive, but it's gonna be beautiful. Once
Yep.
I get it done, it looks like a maze. It's just the whoever drew that and had the inspiration for it was amazing. I want to thank that person. So anybody up there in New York, I got you. Yes. Wonderful.
Have you ever been to Manhattan?
Not Manhattan. I've been to Times Square and because I went to Broadway a couple times. Um,
In Manhattan, there is you think that it's just mostly skyscrapers, but and yeah,
yeah.
there is a lot of skyscrapers, but when you're walking down Manhattan, I don't remember what street it was I was on because Michael told me which streets to be on and which not to be on. And
Hmm.
I was just walking. I don't remember. I think I walked 15 blocks, I think, or something like that, on my way to find the Empire State Building. But I spent more time taking pictures of the architecture, not the skyscrapers, but there was carvings made of marble all over the place. And then when I saw the cathedral, and someone's going to say, well, which one? I don't know which one. Um, but I can tell you that the cathedral that I took pictures of, the carvings that were on the outside of it,
Yeah.
chicken wire over the top of the carvings to keep birds off of it, I think.
Yeah,
And
probably.
because in my filmed pictures, you can see the chicken wire on the figures, and I could kick myself because I didn't go in it because I didn't think he was allowed to just go walking inside a cathedral like that. And I wish I had of because I've never been inside of a cathedral before, just so I can see the architecture and see the
Yeah.
stained glass stuff. I don't care about the church part of it. I just want to see the beauty of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. When I went to DC, we did some church youth group stuff, and I would spend a week in DC doing like working in soup kitchens and everything in the morning. And we
Mm-hmm.
would go explore in the afternoon. And I absolutely loved it because the chaperone said, as long as you bring one person with you, you can go anywhere you want. And I'm like, whoa, like we didn't know I had that much power. Um, but we did end up going to this district, I can't remember, and there was this beautiful church. And yeah, it was wonderful walking in there.
He probably wanted to make sure you guys stayed safe, and so you're less apt to anything
Yeah,
bad happen when you travel in the company of others.
we had time restraints, but we got all the way to Georgetown one time. Like we took the subway all the way down and just so that I don't know. They wanted to go to a certain store, like we were on a mission. I was like, oh, I'll go with you. That'll be fun.
Have you ever been to Macon, Georgia?
Mm-mm.
That place. I was a teenager when we went. We went to a so it was when I was still in the church, and we went to a church convention that had to do with because we were apostolics, but we were also in communication with the Blue Mountain Children's Home or something like that, and so they were doing some kind of thing in Macon. That's how we met them, and when you go to Macon, you're not expecting to see a church on every, there is a church on every street corner. That is not an
Welcome to the
exaggeration.
South.
I've lived in the South all of my life, and I've never seen so many churches in one town or city.
Um,
And
there,
some of the churches were amazing to look at.
mm, well, in North Carolina, I'll give you a run for your money.
Yep.
It's a lot like that too around here.
I was too busy looking at the fauna to care about the building.
Yeah.
I
It's like when I
can't help
go,
it. When I see plants, it's like, okay, you can forget
yeah,
about talking to her. She's gone.
she's done.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go cut the stuff.
Yeah. When I go to Charlotte, every now and then there's this one town that we go through and we must pass at least 12 churches, um, all different denominations on the same road. So, yeah, that
It's
works.
a good thing they all get along, huh?
Yeah, we should. We should. No worries, Donnell. That you're listening while you're doing computer work. I'm glad that you're here and hanging out with us.
Yeah, that's what I care.
Absolutely.
Just socializing or work, we don't care.
Jean says the Washington National Cathedral is out. It's just gorgeous. Outrageous. Or gorgeous, whatever. She didn't want to leave. It's just, I bet it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There isn't really that many stores as churches. Been interesting. We only have one around here, but yes, it all depends on where you are. I noticed when I went to Fayetteville, North Carolina, there was quite a few of those kind of stores.
Have you
But
ever been to a Nordstrom's?
at Nordstrom, yes, I have.
That is the most expensive store on the planet, I think.
Yeah. At our mall, they have Nordstrom and Macy's. They're pretty much right next to each other.
Well, now Macy's, I can actually afford to buy things from Macy's, especially if you can get it on sale. But I've never been able to buy anything from Nordstrom's. Way above my pay grade.
Mm-hmm. Nordstrom doesn't really hit me really well. I'm just like, oh, it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'm a country bumpkin. I can't be,
Yep, I agree with you. I seen a cardigan in there that I wanted, but it was like $500, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. I was like, I'm glad somebody can afford these clothes.
Yeah.
Just not me today.
Yep, not me today. That's right.
So I wonder when they have sales and what those sales look like.
I have this jacket that I actually have it here with me. It's a wool jacket, and there was I can't remember the name of the store, but it was a store in Lake City in the mall, and it was an expensive store, and so I never bought anything out of that store, and they got liquidated, and so they were doing these clearance sales, and there was a sale that said jackets 80% off. So I went in there to see what they had. I couldn't believe my eyes. They had a jacket my size for $20. You know how much the jacket originally was? $400.
Wow.
And I still have it. I wear it when it's not as cold because it's not thick enough for, it's not parka weather.
Well, I'm at that point where my girls want to wear everything that I have. And so I have to hide things or lock doors.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, that's fun. Not really. Like Emma took my boots. I had some really nice black boots. And now I have one. I was like, where's the other one? I don't know, Mom. I was like, well.
Someone wears my shoes, I never wear them again. It's a phobia of mine. Like, don't wear my shoes, and don't there's two things. Don't wear my shoes, and I don't know. There was something else. I can't think of it. It hasn't happened in a long time, so I've kind of forgotten. But shoes is one of them.
I have enough shoes but she's now the same size shoe that I am. So now she just tries to take all of my stuff. I was like, well, when I'm done with it, you can have it.
too funny.
So.
I know it's not funny for you, but
it's beautiful. It is. Let's see what our friends are saying. Joydy says it has to be down the road from me. Oh, the churches. Yes, there's dozens of churches on that road. It probably is. It's just, let's see here. It's just north of Charlotte. I can't remember what road it is. I don't know if it's before Harrisonburg or after. Went on the way to Charlotte. So it's around there. Shelby says, now every grocery store here in West Virginia state has, they has liquor stores right with it. And that way, let's see, that did away with the state-owned stores years ago. Well, in North Carolina, we still have our ABC stores. I doubt that's going to go anywhere. And we used to be a dry county until probably about 3 years ago. So now we have people can get their licenses, restaurants and stuff, and sell that stuff, but not my cup of tea. Or Washington State. Sorry, girl. Sorry, girl. I misread it. I've been to Washington State once, or maybe twice. I can't remember the first time because I was little. But we were up in Seattle. That's where my grandparents lived, just north of Seattle. And I just remember the tulips. It was tulip season, which is so beautiful. So, yes. I miss being up in Seattle. It was fun. My grandfather used to work for the Metro. Is it called the Metro? The trolley system that's in Seattle. He's one of the head engineers for that.
oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. My gramps.
I enjoyed being on trains, going from New York to New Jersey, and then I did another train ride from Windsor, California to Hanford, or no, to Lemoore.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it was worth doing it that way instead of renting a car and driving.
I've only driven a train once.
Well,
ridden it, so from New York to North Carolina.
Yeah. I think that would be fun doing it like that. That way you can enjoy the scenery. Since I'm the only one driving in this household, I don't get to see everything if I'm doing all the driving.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a passenger princess.
What now?
I go, you drive. I'll just watch and just talk. So.
Yeah, Nikolai doesn't drive. He's never got around to getting a driver's license.
Yeah, it's all right.
Too busy being at sea. He knows how to drive because he moved the truck a couple of times for me, and I wasn't worried about him crashing it.
Yeah. I mean, I learned how to drive on a Ford Ranger. Ooh, stick shift back in the day. We used to live on there was a farm behind us, and he let us pretty much ride four-wheelers. We could, as long as we didn't go off the beaten path, and not tear up his fields and stuff, we were allowed back there. But yeah, that's how I learned to drive. 12 years old, I'd say, I need the keys to the truck. And he's like, what do you need? I was like, I'm going to work. And so he would let me my stepfather would let me take the back way. And yeah, I drive to work, and hopefully the dogs didn't follow me. And off we went. But they always smelled me out. They knew where I was. Those dogs. Oh, I miss those dogs. I had a Great Dane when I was little. Beautiful dog. Do I navigate when I'm in the front passenger seat? Not really, if I know where I'm going, but sometimes we'll get busy talking and I'll know that it's telling us to turn, but he'll forget to turn, or he'll forget that where we're going. And so, yes, I've done it. But I try not to be that person either. I want to be nice and sweet while I'm in the car.
You know, this card, did you use can you look at your card for a minute?
Yeah.
You see on C, it says to cut. Oh, never
Oh, I
mind.
gotta get my card.
Never
I can
mind.
get it.
I know I looked at the wrong thing, looks like.
All right, backing up.
It's B that you needed 8 of, which I got 8 of. Yeah, never mind. I figured it
Okay.
out. The way I was looking at it, it was kind of teasing me. I'm like, what's wrong with this picture? Anybody say anything in the chat? Let's see.
Yeah, I've been talking to them.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make this block. You know what I mean?
Pat says she's done with her sewing day today and she'll pick it back up tomorrow.
Right.
Well, thank you for sewing
Yes.
and
Very much so.
having fun with that. And then Joydy says she loves Great Danes. I had his name was Astro Augusta Baron of Lilly was his government name.
Wow.
And he was the runt of the litter at 155 pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was massive. But he was the most precious thing ever. It's a big old love bug. Yeah.
The first time I came face to face with a Great Dane, and I'm not scared of dogs because I was raised with them. But the first time I saw that Great Dane, and he was just standing where his head was taller than the fence, and he was
Yeah.
looking at me with this intent look, and I'm like, you're kind of scary the way you're looking at me.
I just love pulling up, and he was just right there, right in the
Yeah.
like I put my window down, and he was just right in the car with me as soon as I pulled in.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
We used to bring him everywhere, especially to the football games, and we used to strap our cousin's football numbers to him. And everyone's like, oh, look at that horse. And I'm like, oh, he's not a horse. I'm like, stop.
Yeah, please don't do that.
But yeah, Mr. Astro. And what the funny thing is, you'd be sitting there watching the news or doing something and you just settle down and he looks at you, he'll walk right by you. And when you think he's going to keep moving, he takes his hips and he sits them right in your lap. And then he looks at you saying, thanks. I want to give you a little hug.
He sounds like he had a personality.
Oh, he did. He did.
That's too funny.
Yeah. But
right, we need to set you aside so I don't accidentally lose you.
I would want another one someday. You need room for them. They need to run.
Lori says she's sewing Hunter Star blocks. I want to make a Hunter star
Oh,
star
that's
block.
nice. Yeah. They're pretty, once you get the cutting instructions down, and like they're pretty simple to put together.
Yeah, because they look beautiful.
They are. Lori, are you doing like a two-toned Hunter Star block, or is it more scrappy? I created a scrappy one over the summer.
I definitely want to try making one. You know, Tiffany did a Hunter Star quilt, and she put them together a different way, and I thought it was pretty interesting the way she did it.
Yeah.
She's always showing all that talent she has. Does anybody know whether Becca went on her trip or not? Or if she's going live tonight? Because I know Donna's not going live. I saw the post today. Apparently she's not going to be live tonight or Saturday or Sunday or whatever days it is she normally goes live.
Sunday, yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on with her, but apparently she must be pretty sick or something.
I think she's sick. Black. Oh.
Black with an old-fashioned print from a layer cake. Wow, that sounds awesome.
I would love to see that. Absolutely.
Do you have a picture of it, Lori? that you can share on the Greenland Quilter group?
Or when you're able to, yeah, I would love to see
Yeah.
it.
Or on Instagram? This sounds really
Amazing.
cool. Yep, I'm about to start chain piecing here in a minute. Laying the foundation for the one side of the flying geese. I went and treated myself out for a steak today. Oh, speaking of steaks, when I went to the store
Yes.
today, I bought a case of whole chickens, a case of chicken legs, and then I told him that I wanted a whole ribeye. And he says, okay, so you went and got the ribeye, put the price tag on it. And when I looked at the price, I'm like, I said, wait, is this correct? He says, yeah. I'm like, he says, it's on sale this week. And I'm like, oh, I went and bought two of them. And so tomorrow I'm going to cut them down into steaks and maybe save one end of one side of it to turn into a roast.
I haven't had steak in a long time.
I love steak. That's one of my guilty pleasures. Ribeye steak.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
this
like
last
fillets
yeah, I'm not a fillet
when I
person.
do
I
have
mean, I'll
them.
eat them, but
Yeah.
and I don't like bacon on my fillets either. But I do like marinating them in teriyaki sauce and slapping them on the grill, and then use butter for the fat part,
Yeah.
which works really great. This turquoise is gonna look good on this purple.
Go team.
Y'all knew what you were talking about over there.
Do you doubt all of us quilters?
No, because listen here, we made a blog together a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
that was the most fun live because people were like, "Oh, let's try this," and we came together and figured it out, and the block came out so pretty. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it took a village to create the block. It was 41 people participated in the design of that block.
Oh, I remember hearing about that
Yeah, it was
because I wasn't
so
able to be on that live with you.
yeah, it was so
Yeah.
much fun. I
Well, I wasn't.
really
Yeah.
loved it. You were busy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Now I know why that was bigger. Ah, I gotta take all of them out. Oops.
6. Hold chill.
Okay, I can fix this. Not a problem. This is how
This
you
room
learn.
gets so cold.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it
So
does.
right now it's and I got told today a disturbing thing about our weather. Right now it's 16 degrees Fahrenheit. And when I walked out the door today, I'm like, okay, this is a little chilly. More chilly than I'm used to because the last 5 years it's not been hardly cold here. Well, it's been
Mhm.
cold, but when I mean cold, cold, like Siberian cold.
Yeah.
And I ran into one of the guys that I talked to. That we have a married husband team, meaning both of them are husbands. And
Okay.
so I made friends with them, and because they're gardeners, and so I ran into the taller of them because one's really tall and the other one's short like Nikolai. And we were talking about the weather. He says, "Yeah, have you heard what's going to happen next week?" No, we're going to get a bit of rock, and it's going to drop the temperature down to minus 10 degrees Celsius. So
Wow.
you'll have to look it up on Google to see what that is,
Yeah.
which means
It's
it's going
cold.
to be excruciating cold because of the wind.
Yeah. Your baby's not going to want to go outside.
Nope, because she was kind of grumping last night when I put her outside last night to go to the bathroom. She was
Mm-hmm.
taking a little bit longer, so I got my coat on and walked outside because I just cracked the door and sent her out. And she has a flashing collar that I put on her so I could
Yeah.
see her. And she was like gingerly walking down the stone. I'm like, uh-oh, it's too cold out here for her feet.
Oh,
So
poor
yeah,
baby.
it's going to be a problem. So I think what she did is when she was doing her business, she got her paws wet.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, and it was so cold out there last night, but yeah, and so that it gets it. I guess it puts a strain on the bottom of their feet because it hasn't been that cold over the last 4 or 5 years. So their paws have adjusted to the less and less cold stuff.
Mhm.
Hey, Kristen, what's up, girlfriend? Kristen is
Hi,
one of the
Kristen.
channels that has a farmstead, and y'all should go check her out. She's really cool. If you like homesteading videos, that's the place to go.
Well, I will definitely check you out. I'm
Yeah,
a
I've been on a farmstead homesteading kick lately. I've been watching a few of them these days.
hmm
Some of them have some really great ideas, and some of them could have what they when they're canning. You learn something when you're watching them can, or
yeah,
I'm like, oh, I
I
didn't
do a
know.
lot of canning.
Yeah, so then you understand. So it's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that in a can. This one
hmm
homesteader I watched, she was canning meat, and I'm like, you can can meat?
hmm Oh,
She's a
I
prep.
have, yeah, and I have a gas stove, and I said if we ever lose electricity, I'm just
You
gonna
want?
start canning everything.
Yeah,
Cooking and canning. Like nothing's going to waste around here.
yep, because can't afford for our freezer to go bust. Like I remember when we had that storm of the century come through Florida, and I had
hmm
just filled my freezer, and we didn't know we were going to get that storm. It was a freak storm that happened, and so that freezer had like $400 worth of meat in it. And when the storm came through and knocked power out for, I think we didn't have power for 19 days. It sickened me all the loss of my meat
Yeah.
because so you can only cook meat so long,
Yeah.
and with no power, the only way to cook it was on the grill. You just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
That's when they brought in the National Guard to give, what do you call them, ME food, or what are those called? It's
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
it was
I
that
don't know
and
what it's
water.
called.
Yeah, because there was total loss of power in Columbia County. I mean, it was really bad. My in-laws didn't have power for 28 days because they lived out on the far north side of the town, and
hmm
that was one of the last places that they fixed the power because uh the power lines out in that area had big huge live oaks laying on top of the power lines. But everybody in our neighborhood except us got a tree through the middle of their house. We were so lucky because we had this tree that was 75 feet up in the air and it was dead on the outside.
hmm
And I told my husband, I said, this tree's probably going to fall down on our house because of this storm. We were so fortunate. It never fell down. So when we finally got the tree cutters to come and cut it down, y'all will laugh at this. I'll have to tell the story about this tree. So you have two guys coming to cut this tree down. I found an affordable tree cutter to take it down, and both of them's name was Frank. So what
Frank.
one Frank shimmied all the way up to the top of that tree, and I'm like, that tree, you're gonna fall out of that tree because I was just cringing watching him go up there, and he was pulling a rope up with him. And the other Frank down on the ground was saying, "Hey man, be careful while you're going up like that because you don't know how weak the tree is on the top." And he's like, it's sturdy. There's nothing wrong with this tree up here. Apparently, it was still alive in parts of it. And so he got as far up as he could, and he hooked a rope around the top of it. And then the Frank on the ground says, "Which way you want to drop this tree? Because we don't want to drop it on our house because the angle the tree was in, it would have dropped it right on top of our bedroom." And
Yeah.
he says, "Well, I think you should get way over there, and when I tell you to pull, you pull." And I'm doing this the whole time. It's like, oh, somebody's gonna get hurt. They got that tree down and never damaged our fence, and it never got landed on our house. So it was a blessing. We finally got that tree down because that tree worried us for so long. Lightning had hit it, so what it was is it was 70 feet in the air. So from the ground to about 25 feet up, the whole outer side of it was burned out. Then it had a whole solid area, 25 feet to like 60 feet. And then above the 60-foot mark was all dead up there. So it was going to come down one way or the other.
Mhm.
And we knew that. I just didn't want it to come down on our house.
Yeah, I have a bunch of elm trees behind me, and they're supposed to be really strong, but and then there's pine trees behind that, and pine trees come down so easily.
Yeah, they're also lightning rods
Yeah.
because they don't have a oak trees. That's why this one managed to live as long as it did. You know, the oak trees have two cambiums. One's on the outer layer of the tree, and the other one's at the center of the tree. And so,
Mhm.
an oak tree can get hit by lightning and it burn out the outside layer or even the inside layer, but leave the outside layer okay, and it can
Yeah.
survive for 100 years that way. A pine tree only has one cambium, and when lightning hits it, that's it. The tree is done.
Good to know.
It's because it has all that sap running in it. It's like a conduit for lightning. So let's see how many people know the answer to this. We're going to ask a plant question. What do you think a palm tree's trunk is made from? Do you think it's woody like a pine tree or an oak tree, or what do you think it's made of?
A
Let's see
palm
who knows
tree?
the answer to that.
So if it's like soft or hardwood?
Well, you know, when you have a mature palm tree, the trunk is very strong and it
Yeah.
feels woody to you, but it's not
Oh,
made.
don't tell the answer yet. Like
I'm
I'm
not going to tell the answer. It's not made the way you think it is.
okay. Okay. Interesting.
Pine, oak, and pecans are the ones that came down here, she said. Melissa did. Ah, look who's talking. Andrea says fibrous, but what's the fiber of? Or what is the fibrous made from? What created it? Nope, sand's not involved. Think about the makeup of the tree itself. No one?
Mm-mm.
So I'll start by telling you that palm trees do not have a cambium. They only have what you call the phloem, which is water pipes. So the entire palm tree has nothing but water pipes going up and down the plant. And as the tree grows up and spreads out, that's how it feeds itself. Andrea has the answer. It's leaf material from the fronds. So all that trunk you have is created from palm fronds that hardens over time as it grows up. So that's why a lot of times you'll see the trunk of a palm standing for 100 years, but the top has gone. The way to kill a palm tree is if you kill the central bud, which is the very center of the bud at the top of the tree. That if that gets damaged, the tree is dead. It will die. It will. There's no way to save it.
Interesting.
That's why when we have cold, hard freezes in North Florida, and if you have palm trees that can't take more than 18 hours of a hard freeze, you have to find a way to protect them from it. Because if the central bud gets frozen, it's going to be history. Andrea says, I live in palm country. Frank says, laugh out loud, try to cut one. Yeah, they're very hard. They're harder than an oak tree. Am I boring everybody now? Okay,
No.
I've repinned them. What's your plans for tomorrow, Jess?
Tomorrow, Saturday?
Yeah.
Ooh. I do need to plan something to teach next week. No, I already know what I'm teaching, but I need to plan we have 15 days of school before Christmas break, and I want to do like 15 things that we could do, like make snowflakes and all that stuff. So I need to plan all that out.
That sounds like fun.
Then sewing, maybe hanging out with some friends. Friends are
Definitely
good.
gotta hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe be on somebody's channel tomorrow night. So yeah, that's about it. Clean my house. I mean, I've always have to clean.
I don't
So
think I have anybody hanging out with me on my live tomorrow night. So if you want to come, you can. Come to think of it, I don't think I've got anybody pinned in my calendar for tomorrow night. I so like having people on my lives.
yeah, see, I don't know how people do it if they're just by themselves, but they, you know, you have to be really interactive
Yeah.
with your chat. So I don't
Speaking
know.
of being
I don't think I could
interactive,
ever do it.
speaking of being interactive, we should talk about that poll. All right.
Yeah.
The question was, what color combinations do you love to use? Drop a comment on your favorite colors. So the answers I gave you to vote on were cream and blue. That's 31%. Wow, nobody voted on red and black. Zero.
I'm done with you all. Red and blacks.
Zero. Monochrome, 9%. Multicolors, 60%.
Of course. It's all right. I forgive you all for not doing red and black, but I'm just a huge NC State fan and a Carolina Hurricane fan. So I just tend to like red and black. But I didn't vote for that one. I voted for the blues too.
Yep. Andrea says we almost lost all of our palm trees 2 years ago when we had that hard freeze for a week. Yep. That's pretty normal. And then quilting in a country. What's your first name? She says it's super hard by yourself for a live. It is because you're sewing, you're yakking, and you're supposed to be talking to your viewers at the same time, making sure you catch everything they say so they don't feel left out. Because we don't want you to feel left out. We love you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with them.
Yep, you're doing good with helping me. Thank you.
Melissa vote. She likes red and black too because of, well, I don't say she does red and black is also Georgia. That's true, but she did vote for the blue.
All right.
I forgive you, Melissa. I forgive you.
What kind of poll should we do next?
I don't know.
We could do genres of fabric. What do you think about that?
Yeah, or Christmas movies since tomorrow's the first day of December. No, Sunday
Right.
is.
But you're gonna have to help me with that because I'm not real good at Christmas movie names.
Well,
All right.
we can just talk about it over this comments.
Okay.
Like what's your favorite Christmas movie for this holiday season? If you were to snuggle up on the couch next to your favorite person.
We can also start a debate on this very subject. You know what my favorite Christmas movie is? The one with Bruce Willis in it. And it's what's the name of that one? The first Die Hard movie. How many?
Because that is a Christmas movie. Yeah, it is.
Movie, but people will debate. No, it's not. So that's a great question. What's your favorite Christmas movie? I'm going to say Die Hard.
I have a couple of them. So, It's a Wonderful Life. We always watch it on Christmas Eve. It's like a family tradition. My mom started it quite a long time ago. And then The Grinch, but the cartoon The Grinch. I love some Jim Carrey Grinch, but I just love the cartoon version.
I
Nostalgic.
think Nikolai likes The Grinch the best too, out of all the Christmas movies.
Max is my favorite. Love Max. And when he gets his little horns put on.
Yeah.
But
okay,
good times.
You should see all this thread on this dress I'm wearing because I'm wearing this dark burgundy dress. You know,
that's what I want to make for next year, like an apron that I put on when I'm here. so that I can not have so much all over me and I can actually throw it off, go do what I have to do and not have to worry about lint.
So there's a picture of me and Nikolai. We celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary in California, and I
Yeah.
bought this beautiful lacy burgundy dress, and I
Hmm.
bought him a burgundy dress shirt, and we got our pictures done together. And I
Oh,
haven't had this dress on in all this time, and I know I've lost a. I know you can't see that I've lost weight, but I can because I can fasten my snow pants, which I've never been able to fasten.
okay.
And I put this dress on today because I didn't have time to look for something warmer, and this is a little bit warmer. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it's loose. It wasn't tight like it was when I first bought it.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. We got some Christmas stuff.
Okay.
So Mr. Magoo's Christmas is my favorite. That's what Joydy is saying. Melissa has a few of them. Elf, It's a Wonderful Life, The Grinch, Polar Bear Express, Miracle on 34th Street. Oh, I forgot about that one. And The Christmas Carol. Um, Fun fact, we're having like a teacher war when we get back to school, and third, fourth, and fifth grade are all getting together and we're reenacting the Polar Express. We got a
That
train and
sounds like
everything.
fun.
Yeah, I'm like, we're gonna win this contest. I'm very competitive, let's just say. I like to win everything. Everything I put my heart into. So that's amazing. Let's see. Where am I? Kathy says A Christmas Story. Scrooge. Yes. If I'm with my dad, I'm definitely watching Scrooge. And yes, 1953 version. Absolutely. Every year he asks me, Jess, can you find me this? And I'm like, of course I can. And I have to send it to him. Um, Mama J says she watches all the Home Alone movies on Christmas Day. And my husband loves them. And he gets him out of a bah humbug mood that he's always in. Well,
Hmm.
I'm glad that you're able to get him out of his bah humbug mood with Home Alone.
Did you see what someone said?
What?
Someone said, where did it go? Oh, it had to do with words.
Words?
Yeah. Taking a word and changing it in a Christmas title. Where did it go? Is it off the screen already? Okay,
I
I
didn't
need to
see it.
backtrack here.
Yeah. Lori says she has some by, oh, Lori said that. It's the next, it was our next one. She has fun changing a word or two, changing a word to from the movie title, a famous line into something sewing related.
Yeah, that was the
We're
question.
gonna need a bigger bolt.
And Joy T also made a comment. She said,
That's funny.
ask subscribers if no channelers want to join you, Katy. Subscribers have a lot to talk about. Yeah, that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah,
If you're not afraid of getting in front of the camera, I don't mind bringing them into Zoom, not at all.
yeah.
I think that's a good way to get to know some of the viewers too. That's a really good idea, and I'm going to post that on the community tab about that.
Judy Smith says Die Hard, the
Yep,
first
see,
one.
another
Yep,
the
so
first one, yeah.
she's right there with you. My daughter
Yep.
and I have t-shirts. Ooh, where and they go to the Carolina Theater almost every year to watch it.
And
Amazing.
there's always a debate about whether Die Hard's considered a Christmas movie, and I'm like, it is because they
Just
were,
let it be.
yeah.
Just let it be. John says Miracle on 34th Street. The story concept is brilliant. And then Melissa's laughing at me because I'm competitive. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't tell me no, because I will make it happen. Oh my word.
And Lori says that
Oh,
was her about the word thing. That's actually a great idea. We should do that. The word thing,
mhm.
word game.
Joy D said that she likes the March of the Wooden Soldiers too. Any old time movies are great. And so, yeah, Lori likes the word thing. You can sew your eye out. Yes. I haven't watched that movie in a long time too. Fun fact,
It's
not a
so
big
you can
movie
so
watcher.
stab yourself with a straight pin, you know.
Oh, ooh, oh, oh, my eyes hurt just thinking about that one. Next.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys did really well with this.
Yeah, thank you. I
Yeah.
like Trading Places, not really Christmas either, but like Die Hard, it has holiday themes. Yes, it does. That's why we say it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, then you got all those Christmas movies off the Hallmark Channel.
Yep.
So lots of things going on. I'm more of a person where I'll just turn on the TV and listen to everything while
While
I'm
you're schooling.
working.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do that a lot too. Or I really confuse Nikolai sometimes because when he'll have gone off for a while and I'll have music playing on the stereo or either from my phone with a speaker, and
Yeah.
I've got the TV going at the same time. And he walks in, he's like, "How do you do that?" I said, "I've been doing this as long as I can remember. I've done this. Watch TV and listen to music at the same time." Because I would crank
Yeah.
the music up high enough, but I could still hear what was being said on the TV because I had the TV turned down low enough that you really didn't have the conflict of voices going on. And sometimes just watching TV without hearing anything, you already know,
Hmm.
especially if you already seen the movie a few times, you already know what's going on anyway.
Yeah. My dad watches TV almost on silent. Um, he said he'd rather just read lips, and I was like, oh, interesting. I hope I don't get that way when I'm 75 years old, but whatever works for him.
It's like Danish. When I first moved here, before we had YouTube and stuff, because internet
Mhm.
was so expensive back then,
Yeah.
I used to watch because there's only like 3 or 4 channels that we can watch here that are not cable. And so one of them is DR1 and DR2, and a lot of times I would sit and watch them talking in Danish and say, "Okay, I wonder what they're talking about," or watch a TV series or something that's in
Yeah.
Danish, like a mystery. Or some of them were mystery, some of them were police stories or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is what happened because you're kind of guessing as you're going along because some of the words sometimes you can pick up a word that actually sounds like English and it is English, but it's not English, it's Danish. It just has the same meaning. And
Mhm.
and it's funny because when I finally had a chance to start getting English subtext for some of it, I'm like, wow, I was really wrong about that scene, or oh my gosh, I got it, I nailed it, you know?
Mhm.
One of the things I
Um,
did when I first moved here, spent a lot of time listening to watching, even though I might not understand the language of both Danish and Greenlandic,
yeah.
but it taught me how to listen to it by watching the shows. So when someone was talking to me in a store, and after a while, like one of the things is, do you want a receipt? And it's most of them say it in Greenlandic. And I have now, when I hear that word, I'm like, oh, they want to know if I want a receipt because I figured that out on my own because they all say the same word. And then I'll say, well, I don't know what you mean. And they'll point at the receipt machine. I'm like, oh, yes.
Let's see. Oh, Shelby said that she usually watches Christmas Vacation every year also. Oh, Charlie Brown Christmas. Awesome, Frank. That's amazing. I watched
Yep.
that in my classroom. So, love Charlie Brown. We watch all the Charlie Browns. Um, and then Shelby said, "That's funny, Katie. I'm watching you two with Christmas music playing in the background." So
Yep.
she's multitasking her brain too.
Yep.
Um, Joydy says, "What Christmas movie would you hate to watch? I can't stand a movie with the boy who gets a BB gun for Christmas. It irks me to the bone."
Yeah. Let's promote
And
the
then
gun.
Frank said, "Oh no." And she goes, "What's the name of it?" And I can't remember it right away. Let's, I'm really bad about stuff like that.
I guess the reason I don't really have a favorite for Christmas one, because some of the movies y'all are talking about, I've never seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one on what street was it? The one about the
Miracle on 34th Street.
I've never seen that.
Oh, and what about the Brady Christmas? Anybody remember watching that?
No, I've
Ooh,
never seen that either.
I've watched the Brady Christmas.
Comes from not having a TV in your teenage years. Back then, you weren't allowed to watch TV because of the church.
Oh, it's called A Christmas Story. The one with Ralphie. Oh, no, 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 no. Was that the one? The Christmas Story? Shoot Your Eye Out, Christmas Gun. That might be it. Red Rider. I think that's it. A Christmas Story. Interesting. Anywho. How are you doing, Katie, with that block?
It's coming along. I just making sure I don't cut the wrong dog ear off too soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting there. These flying geese, I don't mind doing the flying geese. I'm just still not proficient with it yet
Yeah.
because it's a little challenging.
I'll have to show you a shortcut that I have. Do you use a 1/4 inch foot with a side guide on it?
Yeah, there's a guide on it. Uh-huh.
So I'll make a little short for you.
Okay.
So that because I don't have a camera that points down, but there's a way that I cut the fabric. I cut it a 1/4 inch away from the points so that I'll use my seam guide and it runs right along from corner to corner.
Oh.
And that's how I do a lot of my flying geese. Or
Okay.
I
would like to
use
see see what you're doing because it might be something I could do. Yeah. Because I find these sometimes challenging to me.
yeah. Or I use this Creative's Grid, the folded corner clipper.
Yeah,
it's really
you
hard.
have mentioned that before, and I don't think I have that particular ruler.
So, and it goes up to 5. This one goes up to 5 inches. I don't really have any flying geese that are bigger than that. So it all works. But anytime that I have to make a diagonal from one side to the other, I usually use that. It's fun.
Andrea says she needs to go finish her the folding of laundry. She'll be back in about a half hour if you're still on. Well, see, it doesn't look like I have to get off anytime soon unless you want to, Jess, but I was going to just stay until I got this done because there's no lives behind me.
Well, I was going to get off. Then I'll probably end up getting off soon anyway.
As soon as I finish this block, that's when I want to stop. So
yeah,
because last night was a long time sitting on my butt.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't mind it. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept my mind off of, Nikolai traveling.
Yeah. Hi, Linda. Welcome to the chat. Glad you're here.
Hi, Linda.
Shelby said a very Brady Christmas. Yeah, that was a long time ago from the early 70s.
That bot didn't share the link I asked it to share. That means I didn't put it in the bot. Dang, darn it. I guess it didn't. All right, that's all right. I'll go do it the hard way. For Bella's Whisper farmsteading or homesteading, I forgot to share her link. For anyone who likes homesteading stuff, I'm going to share her link, okay? I didn't want to leave her out because so her name is Kristen. Bella's Whisper Farmstead. And I'm just going to share the link in case someone wants to go over and have a look around. And if you want to subscribe, you can also do that. There you go. And also Andrea has a channel. I don't know if I got, did I share her channel tonight? Joy T says, I'll stay with you, Katie, till you go. Okay. You want to come on the, Joy, you want to come on the Zoom? Shelby says, good one, Jean. It is a miracle. It is a miracle to properly close binding the first time, laugh out loud. And I'm going to share Jess's channel while I have a chance. Here's Jess's. Anyone else want their channel? Oh, speaking of channel, look at you guys. If you will type this word for you who have channels, and I'm typing this so you can see it. who have a channel and want to share the and you might want to write this down so you don't forget it. Type this. I forgot. I fixed my bot to do this. Type exclamation selfie. And you can share your channel in my channel if you want to.
Cool. Come on, people. Need to see your channels. See all these new friends I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I like new people.
Me too.
Yeah, and hanging out, getting to know them a little bit. Absolutely.
And the beauty of it is you make more friends, and then your channel, you know what I mean? Networking.
Yeah, but then it is networking, and I totally get it, but I'm here just to have
why
fun.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I want to, you know?
Yeah. I just want to have fun with it. And if I never grow another subscriber,
yeah,
then it is what it is. I'm just here to hang out and just have fun with everyone. And learn from them.
Yeah. So many have different ways of doing things and doing different aspects in their life, and it's fun to learn about them.
Absolutely.
I think the reason I like the homesteading one so much is because you learn a lot from even them that you didn't know about. You're like, oh, I didn't know that. And it also brings memories back of my childhood when my dad and mom had a farm, and a tiny farm.
Yeah.
And my mother was a gardener like you wouldn't believe. And she had this big, huge red rock pig that was like a pet. And she had to weigh at least 500 pounds, but mama fell in love with her, and they ended up not eating her. So she started breeding her, and this pig, every day at 5 o'clock, she would get up on her hind legs and put her front feet up on the gate, and you could hear her screeching from the back behind the orange groves all the way up to the house. She was calling my mother.
No, thank you. Oh my word. She was hungry. She wanted her mama.
Come down here and feed me. She loved her my mom though.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
She would get all squealy when she'd see mom come into view. She would be just talking up a storm to my mother. But I'm pretty sure it's because mom was bringing her food.
All my animals are the same way too.
Yeah.
I'm the hand that feeds them.
Yep. You know what I think really makes me remember things when I'm listening to the homestead ones is hearing the noises that chickens make when they're happy. I'm like, gosh, that brings such yummy memories of when we had chickens and they make this little noise that you know they're happy.
Yeah.
They're just scratching and eating and making that little noise they like to make. They're content.
Well, at least my rooster doesn't crow as much as he used to.
Yeah, now roosters, on the other hand, can be noisy.
He's massive.
What kind do you have?
I believe he's a Rhode Island Red, but
yeah, they do.
He doesn't have, but he's mixed. He's definitely not purebred, but he has these beautiful iridescent black feathers. So he's a mix of something. Yeah. But he's a boy. He likes to try to puff up on me. I was like, try it. You'll be dinner.
You'll be dinner.
Mm-mm.
Because that's what my mom would do if a rooster did that. Okay, you're gonna do that, I'm gonna eat you.
Yeah, I just talked to him and go, I dare you. I dare you.
You're gonna be food on the table.
I was like, I'm gonna let Flash at you. That's my basset hound. She kills all my chickens.
I remember one time a friend came over to our house, and she was not exposed to small farms. You know, her parents, bought their food from the grocery store. And she came over one day to play with us girls when we were outside, and my mom walks out the back door, goes over and grabs a chicken. She grabs a chicken, and she goes to the clothesline, and she ties the chicken upside down on the clothesline, and she dispatches the chicken. That little kid went behind the house and threw up because my mom did that in front of her.
Oh my word.
Like, oh my gosh. And she comes back, she says, doesn't that make you sick seeing her do that? I'm like, no, it's food.
Yeah. Welcome to my life.
Yeah, this is my life. It's food.
Yeah.
Right, where did I put those little? Okay, here we go. Now I got the flying geese. Here's what it looks like so far. What do y'all think of this purple with this turquoise?
Yeah, that looks great.
Yep.
Now you got a big old 9 patch to put together.
Yep. Now let's do 2 of these. Which way are these supposed to be facing anyway? Okay, yeah. So go ahead and sew. I wish these, when you're making these blocks, I wish they'd tell you what the finished, like these flying geese, because these flying geese look like they're a little bit bigger than my center block. So what I need to do is measure this first and see if it matches the, yeah, that's what I'll do. And then I could trim down the flying geese. That's what I can do. Good idea. Let's see what size the center of this block is. 4.5. All right, move this out of the way. So they're like just an 1/8 over is what it looks like.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not. I think part of the problem is, remember I told you the block was a little bit wonky?
Mm-hmm.
And that might be why it seems like the flying geese are bigger, but maybe they're not. It's just because the block itself is wonky. So we are going to do what you call easing it in.
Easing.
Let's do some easing.
Yeah, it's only it's only 1/8 of an inch, so it's not.
Yeah, so it should be
not too
simple
much.
enough to do it. Yeah.
Correct.
And there's a center seam, a center seam anyway to line the point up with. So that should make it even easier to deal with it that way. We have those 2 points going on.
Catch up with the chat, see if I'm missing anything. I started cutting and ignoring. Oh my word. So Becca is on at 8 o'clock tonight.
So what time is it now?
It's 7:10.
So we have an hour left. Okay, so she didn't go on her trip then. Okay. All right. I guess I should think about changing the forwarding. Hey, Kathleen McGinley.
Hello,
She
hello.
says, how did you end up in Greenland and how long have you been there? I ended up in Greenland because I got married to a native Greenlander, and instead of him immigrating to our home country, I immigrated to his because it was much simpler and easier. Yeah, I wondered when you were going to start begging. You hear that?
Yeah, I hear her.
She's like, Mom, you know what time it is? You're going to have to wait. What did you do to your nose? Oh, it's fabric on your nose. What? Do you need to go shoo-shoo? Is that what it... Hang on a second. Come here. You gotta put your collar on. Come here.
How adorable.
I'll be right back, Jess. I'm gonna let her drop the door. Come here. I need to put the... See the collar? This is how I see her in the dark.
Oh, nice.
Because she's black and you can't hardly see her.
No, I would just see something moving across like a shadow.
Yeah, like
absolutely.
A shadow, yeah.
I gotta figure out what's for dinner. Well, my people have probably already eaten, but I gotta eat something. I'll get hangry.
Okay, so to finish answering Kathleen's question, so I migrated to Greenland and I've been living here for 13 years now, and we're about to celebrate our 14th wedding anniversary on January the 2nd. Did T Quilts come in here? Oh, look who's here. Hey girl, how you doing? So I'll have to run and make check on her in just a minute.
Yeah,
I don't want to leave her out there for very long and not see what she's doing.
understandable.
She's
Absolutely.
she's a mature dog now, so she's not so inquisitive when the snow is on the ground. It's when grass is on the ground that she's inquisitive. And it's like you can forget about trying to get her to come in. You have to put her on a leash and make sure she comes with you, you know?
Yeah.
But with the snow, she's not as bad. But I also think that she likes going next door to the neighbors because the neighbors throw their food out on the ground. And I don't want
Mm,
her eating their food, cooked food.
yeah. She
Especially,
has a raw food diet, doesn't she?
yes, she does. So eating cooked bones is a bad idea. Very bad, in fact. So how you been
Those
doing,
are-
T? How's everything going? Did you have a great Thanksgiving? All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Gotta go check on her. She hasn't come back in yet. Mom, what are you doing? Come on.
We went to my mother-in-law's for Thanksgiving yesterday, so I really don't have any leftovers. I'm trying to figure out. That's all I'm thinking about right now is what I'm going to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. When I get hungry, I get crazy. Well, not really crazy, crazy, but you don't want to get away with me and food. So,
By the way, I forgot to show you guys what I found in the store today.
yeah. Oh, oh. I
Hmm?
wonder, I wonder who's gonna love that.
Oh yeah, we all know who's gonna be loving it
Yes.
because he's in Sissy Moot. They're spending one more night there. They didn't set sail tonight,
Yeah.
so he's over at his friend's house, which I'm happy about him getting to hang out with Finn because they don't get to do it very often. And
Yeah.
I told him, I said, "Did you go in Brewston today?" He says, "I'm about to." Why? I said, "Because I'm in here and I see a Christmas tree Lego, a Lego Christmas tree." And he's like, really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, but I told him, I said, "It's 400 kroners." He says, "I don't care. You can buy it." So I bought the tree. So when he went
Well,
into Brewston today, he could not find the same thing I had found. Yeah, it's a Lego Christmas tree, John, a big
amazing.
one. So I bought it today. So when he gets home, he's got something to play with.
Yay.
He thinks I should make it.
What do you think about that? You should make it and then send them and put little um homemade like quilting gifts underneath it.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that because I'm going to
I
be
want
making a video probably tomorrow, the next day, a
yeah.
short and then a long video. He has all of our Christmas Legos built now. They're sitting on the dining table, and all I got to
Mhm.
do is make a video of it so I can share it with you guys of all our little. Uh, someone's resisting. I am so resisting puns. Uh, I wonder what you're thinking.
Oh, Mr. John.
Oh my gosh! I bet it's something naughty.
Kathleen says, that's awesome. Do you ever get back into the States to visit family?
Yes.
Do you order fabric online or are the shops fully stocked?
There's no shops here in Greenland. None. Well, there is a fabric store in Nuke, but they don't really sell much cotton for making quilts with. It's mostly for making household things, and they also sell clothing. Oh my gosh, fabric to make clothing with, because some people like to make their own clothes. And what was the other question? Oh, visiting family. Yes, yes. Every 2 years, I go home to see my 3 adult kids, along with 4 grandkids. And Nikolai, a lot of times I'll go ahead of Nikolai, and when he gets off the boat, he just flies straight from wherever he's at to Copenhagen, and then flies to the United States, depending on which coast I'm on at the time. This last time it was the East Coast, and I dragged him all over Florida doing the Florida shop hop. So, and as far as fabric, how do I order it? I do order it online. I buy most of it from Back Quarter Shop, Missouri Star. So every now and then I'll see something on Shabby. This last time, sometimes I buy from Jordan because they have boutiques, especially the boutiques that the white boutiques that I look for our background sometimes, because I always run out of that. And so I bought 11 yards recently from them. I want to buy a bolt and then be done with it, you know.
I was thinking about buying a bolt of white and black. And so I'm just waiting for some sales to go on.
Yep,
around
so
those.
everything's bought on the internet that ships to Greenland. Let me move this out of the way. Lego Grinch next. You know what I did see in there though? Lego gingerbread ornaments. And I figured those probably won't go as fast as that Christmas tree is going to go, because there was only like 3 of them, and I bought one of them. Oh, these points are not. Why am I having such a hard? Oh wait, it's okay. This one is. Up for a minute, it wasn't. And this one seems to be okay. All right, it just looked like it was out of alignment. All right, let me press these, and then we'll put the other side on. Come here, Nora. Let me get your collar off you. Because that thing doesn't need to be on if you're not outside. Okay, where is my... I don't know what I've done with that acorn pin, because this could use a little bit of tender loving care on that spot, you know?
Oh, Tasha's on. Hi, Tasha. How are you doing?
Hey, Tasha.
And then check out Green Fairy quilts. Oh, for white. I need to do that. I do. I shop through Green Fairy.
I've never heard of that one.
Oh, yeah, you would like that. It's discounted Moda and Riley Blake fabrics. And so you can get it sometimes almost 50% off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know one thing. I'm going to make this block a second time. But for now, it'll have to do for the root. You'll see what I mean when I show it to you in a minute. Hot. The point's not quite there where it should be. And I don't have time to keep, I don't want to rip it out. We're just going to build this block and go from there. We're not going to put it in a quilt contest. Have you ever given thought to putting the quilt in a contest?
I did.
Oh, you
And
have.
I have entered a quilt into QuiltCon this year. So I'm waiting. Next
Oh,
week I'll know if I've been accepted or not.
I can't wait to hear if you made it or not.
Yeah.
Which one did you enter in it?
My illusion quilt. Here, let me go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah, that would be.
Um,
And let me.
oh, I don't have to pull it up. It's right here in front of me.
I'm
I
gonna
forget.
spotlight you. Yeah, hang
All
on.
right, give me a second because I have to move.
Okay, and I'll spotlight you too.
Oh no. Oh, I don't like. Here's my messy room. Don't look.
No one's gonna care.
Oh, I do. I
And if
know.
they
I know.
care, then they should not be saying anything about it. You know what I mean?
I get it. I get it. Okay. So here she is, my illusion
Oh,
quilt.
I like that.
Yeah, it's fabric weaving.
Cool.
And so these are the colors that there was that contest,
Yeah.
B something, where you had 6 different colors of fabric and you had to use at least 3 of them in the quilt.
Hmm.
There wasn't a minimum, but there's a maximum size, but it's about 20 by 20. So
Could you imagine what I could do with boutiques with that pattern?
true. And it's really not that difficult at all.
It doesn't,
So
it's just
it's
what,
3 different sizes.
yeah, and it looks like rectangles, right? It's all of it
Um, yeah. Yeah, there's rectangles and squares. The
rectangle.
inside, the larger ones, is squares right here. So, and then it goes to rectangles. But yeah. So I entered this beautiful thing into QuiltCon and I will know sometime next week whether I've made it or not. But fun fact, I'm going to QuiltCon anyway. So whether I make it or not, that'll be fun.
So you're gonna go to Phoenix?
I'm going to Phoenix I'll be gone for like 50 hours. So in and out like
Yeah.
a storm. So
A little
yeah,
jealous. I'm a little jealous that I can't just get on the airplane and come.
I bought my plane tickets and now I have to figure out where I'm staying. That's my
Yeah,
next
I hear
piece.
the hotels where it's going to be at's a little bit. You might try. Are you going to rent a car or what's your plan?
I don't know.
You
I
rent
wanted
a
to
car,
be
you
close
might
enough
can.
to it.
Yeah, if you rent a car, you might can locate something like 10 or 15 miles away.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And it might be cheaper that way if if you want to
it's true.
save money.
My father-in-law said, Jess, if you're going, go for a whole week. And I was like, oh, no, I don't know. And
Make it worth your
because I've really
while.
never traveled by myself like this, but I can do it. Well, I mean, I have prior to being married, but um, I don't know. So I'm only going to stay for, like I said, 50 hours and I'll be back in and out. And so as long as the shuttle can get me to the hotel and then and I'm near the convention, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I've never
So,
been to Arizona, so I don't know how my asthma would act.
mhm. And then of course I'm going to be in Raleigh. You can unzoom me. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I always tell everybody, I was like, okay, I'm done. Oh, um,
We definitely need to get together when we're in Raleigh for
in
sure.
Raleigh, absolutely, absolutely.
I miss
There's a
some really
bunch
nice
of us that need
people.
to get
Yeah, all of
together.
us. Yeah, we need to
Yeah,
plan something.
yeah, a meetup of some sort and just hanging out with each other.
Yep.
That would be amazing.
Yes, it would.
And then you can say, wow, she's crazier in person or really quiet in person. I am. I'm probably going to be more quiet.
Yeah.
So it's just the way my personality is. Yep.
I enjoyed eating. Becca had made it where some of us could eat with her one night, and
Yeah.
I guess she did it 2 different nights because some others ate a different night, but we ate it something 50 or yes, I don't remember the exact name of the restaurant, but it had a number in it.
Lucky 32,
Nope, not that one. Yeah, something 50, I think.
56.
It might have been 56.
There's there's a steakhouse at something 56.
I ate lamb in there, and oh my God,
Oh,
it was so
yeah.
flippin' good. I'm trying to remember who went with us that night. It was Ian, Becca, me, and some other couples was with us too. I can't remember exactly who. It
Yeah.
was all a blur, but it was fun. But the food, it was not the cheapest restaurant to eat at. I can tell you that. But it was cheaper than the one down there that she mentioned originally. Because I'm not paying $30 to eat Yardbird. But anyway, the lamb, it was lamb tenderloin, and it was marinated in something, and it was so good, so very good. I told Nikolai, I said, I'm glad I took the chance and tried it out. I was a little worried that it might, because it was either that or eat a steak.
Yeah.
And I got to thinking, well, the only way I'm going to know is just give it a try and see what happens. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was in a strip mall, like a strip, not
Yeah.
strip mall. Yeah, because it was like a L-shaped mall looking place.
Mm.
Shelby, you were there or no? I can't remember if you ate with me when I ate with her or not. Because there was, yeah. Debbie Dunn and her husband. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I was grossing them out eating lamb.
Lamb's good. I usually make lamb shakes.
It was worth eating. I bought every chance I can, it's not all the time you can get it here. But one of the grocery stores sells lamb tenderloin. And it used to be that you could get the tenderloin with the fat attached to it, but now they're selling it where it's the fat has been taken off of it. And they cut it in these strips. But when you're looking at the package and you don't realize they're in strips, so I marinate it in teriyaki sauce, and then I throw it on the grill and I cook it 1.5 minutes on each side, and then I take it back up again, and it is so yummy. By the way, there was some. Remember yesterday we were having sound issues with you and me, Jess?
Remember what?
Remember last night someone was saying that whenever you would talk or I would talk and then you would answer, one of us would lose sound?
Yeah.
We weren't the only one having sound problems last night, so it had to have been a YouTube problem because I went back and watched Tammy's live from last night. She was having problems. There was another channel that I went back to watch a replay on that I missed, and they were having sound problems, so it must have been a YouTube problem. So at least now we know it wasn't us. Because there was definitely a discussion about it. Okay, what time is it now?
7:30.
All right, so 30 more minutes before 8 o'clock rolls in.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in the way of Becca's live. I wonder what she's going to work on tonight. Anybody know what she's working on?
I seriously haven't watched. I mean, I'm a supporter, but I haven't watched her
in a while.
Ooh, yeah, in a while. At least I don't think I watched her at all this November. Like the whole stream, here or there, I watched. But
I've been a little bit slacking with watching because I've been watching smaller channels lately, trying to put in, support to help them. We all need the help. And the smaller channels doesn't move as fast, so it's easier to keep up with what's being said too. This block is a hot mess, y'all. So hot mess.
You can do it. I mean, you are doing a smaller.
Yep, and that's why, and it's the first time doing this particular pattern, I think. I don't think I've ever made this block before.
Judy says that her mom would cook lamb for Easter. Ooh, that sounds delicious.
That does sound delicious.
Absolutely. She misses her cooking.
If Nikolai was home for Christmas, we would probably have duck and lamb.
I don't even know what I'm cooking. Last year I made a prime rib.
Prime rib's the other thing that's yum for Christmas.
Yeah. So I don't know what I'm making this year. I didn't give myself the memo yet.
Did you find any ribeye on sale for prime rib?
I probably could, but I go to my local farmer and grab and buy my beef from them.
I wish I could buy a half a cow from somewhere to put in our freezer.
Yeah, eventually that's what I want to do. I just need to eat what's in the freezer.
Yeah.
So I can make room for it, or just buy another freezer. I mean,
Yeah,
every girl needs at least
two
freezers.
Yep.
2 large standalone freezers.
Yep. Yes, indeedy.
Yeah, I have a room out in my garage that is full of all my canning stuff. So I always told Dustin, I was like, yeah, that can be your room where all your tools are and stuff. And no, it's mine. It's mine.
Lori Clark says, I agree, Katie. I'm surfing newer channels. Yeah, that's what I've been doing lately. I've been doing a lot of the smaller channels. And when I miss their lives and I see they come across my little YouTube timeline, I go and watch them. Watch the replay and comment in their comment section that I've been there. Hi, how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I saw your replay today and I enjoyed it. That's why you find comments from me, Jess.
Oh, I'm getting tired. I made a mistake. I gotta get little Jack out.
Uh-oh.
It's all right.
This is part of us doing what we're doing.
I know. Yeah, it's true. I'm surprised my kids they're loud.
So
but I don't think you guys can hear
last
them.
night when you just poofed, I went to tell you, I went to say, tell everybody about your channel. Then you went like this, and then you were going.
Because my kids were talking to me, and I was like, I can't talk to you right now. But then Olivia said, but Mom, I just need to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. So then I just went black for a while. And then I realized that you were off, and I'm like, oh, channel's done. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, don't apologize. I just thought something had happened because you went like this, and then you were going like, oh, uh-oh, because I saw somebody came in there and was talking to you. We couldn't hear nothing. We just saw that someone had come in and started talking
I muted
to you.
my.
Yeah,
I'm really good at muting.
And then you put your hand over your face, and I'm like, something must be going on. And then poof, you were gone.
Yep, I was there. Now I'm
Because what I was going to do is say, tell them about your channel because we're going to stop. Because
you can tell them all about my channel.
Yeah, well, I did, but you know,
yeah,
it's better coming from the horse's mouth. You know what I mean?
Got it.
But anyway, I told them. But we were right at that 6 hour mark. When I looked at the clock, I'm like, wow, we've been on here 6 hours. We made it.
Amazing.
Now we can just say we're done for the night.
I didn't know you were at 6 hours already.
Yeah, when right as I went to say something to you about right before we saw you got interrupted. And when I looked at the clock, I'm like, we're at 2 a.m. my time, which means I have done the 6 hours. So I went to say something to you, and that's when you went like this. And I'm like, uh-oh, something's wrong. And then you were gone.
MIA, missing in action.
She disappeared. Someone kidnapped her.
Oh, been taken hostage and kidnapped. Oh no.
I was worried. That's why I sent a text message. I'm like, are you all right?
Yeah, everything.
Because I didn't know what to think. Because I didn't know what was going on. We couldn't see. We couldn't see who had come in there
to bother me.
It looked like you. Yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna say bother, but I thought something was wrong.
No, you're good. These
Because when
kiddos
you
don't
put,
ever bother me.
yeah, because I
Yes.
never seen your kids in there at all. Not that
Oh,
I'm
they
aware
know
of.
better because I go, I'll put you on with me. And they're like,
Yeah, come
no.
on and let's talk to these adults.
Well, my youngest, she would in a heartbeat, but then you would never hear anything else. It'd all be about softball and like school
Uh,
drama.
uh,
Yeah, good times. My babies.
my daughter used to come, the youngest one used to come home all the time and talk about school drama. And I'm like, well, you can do something. You can just walk away and just don't deal with it. All right. Or anyone else say something? Looks like Tasha said she's off to put the kids to bed. Good night,
Good
Tasha.
night.
Sorry. Didn't no one else has said anything. So it looks like some yeah, okay. All
My
right.
kids never went to bed this early.
Yeah. I hope my son gets Blaze in bed at a decent hour Sunday.
He will. He's a good dad.
Yep, he's doing so good with him. Blaze is completely different now that they're in Georgia. It's not the same as he hasn't been hardly in any trouble. And I'm so happy about him making that A in math. That had to boost his self-worth a lot, making that
Absolutely. Wonderful.
in math. I was not surprised though. He's very mathematical like his dad.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's a trait of an ADHD kid, being really good at math.
No, absolutely not. Mm-mm.
No?
No, it's half and half. I
I feel like
yeah.
the fact that him and I feel like the fact that him and he's got a lot of the similar tendencies. Like I had to when Thomas was 6 years old, he would sit and watch us because we had bought a Super Mario for me, and it was originally for us adults. And he sat there and he watched us play Super Mario World for I don't know, we were probably 2 months in on the game. And one day he says, and he was 6 now, and he says one day he says, "Mom, um, can I play the game?" And it took me and my husband, my first husband, 2 months to beat the game, to get to the other end of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure. So I showed him how to operate the controller and everything. And then um, he just started breezing through all the levels, and he got to the I can't remember, it's a ghost castle or it's a witch's castle, something, a magician's castle. That's what it was. And if it's easy to get killed in that castle because the magician appears randomly, you never know exactly where he's gonna show up and jump on you. And so Thomas says, "How did you get through this part?" And I showed him.
Yeah.
And then I watched him do it, and he did it similar to me, but he did it in a different way. And when you were watching his hands, you didn't see movement of his hands on the controller. He just you couldn't. It was so minute movement, but he was just doing it. He beat that Super Mario World in a week. Then he beat, and I didn't know Mario Kart had an ending. He found the ending of Mario Kart. And I'm like, okay, this is insane. And then I started buying him Lego Technics because the Duplos were too simple. And he would just look at the picture and put it together within a couple hours. Blaze does the same thing. He's very visual, hands-on kind of guy. And I think that hands-on part and the visual part comes from me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Hey, so Terry, welcome back.
Hey Terry, welcome back. I would love to see Blaze do some musicals, get involved in music a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but also get involved in the STEM program as well, because I think it would be good for him.
Yeah, I want to create a STEM project or STEM program at school. Yeah, that's probably one of the things I want to do next year. Put a
Yeah.
grant together first. But
Because I think the STEM program would be good for all of our kids, or all of my grands anyway.
absolutely. Absolutely. My oldest went to a Friendsgiving today. And so she went to her friend's house and she goes, Mom, I have to cook. I have to bring something. I was like, oh no, that means I have to cook. And she goes, no, I'm going to cook it. I'm like, okay. She goes, can you make sweet potato casserole for me? So I was like, yeah, we can make that. She goes, and I want lots of marshmallows on top. And I'm like, of course, because you're a bunch of teenagers. Y'all need marshmallows.
Yeah.
So, because I asked her if she wanted the crunchy topping or marshmallows. That was fun. So,
It's neat that she asked for sweet potato pie.
yeah, she's a good kid like that. But she's over at her Friendsgiving and she goes, Mom. And I wouldn't answer. And she kept saying, Mom, Mom, Mom. So then I finally said, what, Livy? And there's a picture of her that she sent me with a little bird on her shoulder. I'm like, are we a pirate today?
Aww.
She's an animal whisperer. We had 2 feral cats come up to our house, and within 6 months, they're best friends with her.
Yeah. She's got
So
that gift.
she does. And she gets it from me in a way, but we went to Dustin's grandparents' house, and they have this, I mean, this dog looks so mean, so mean. And they tie it up when we got there because they were just afraid it was gonna bite one of us or do something. And they bet me and they go, Jess, you can't walk up to that dog and pet it. I was like, of course I can. And I didn't know the dog from any other dog. And so I just walked up to it and I go, hey buddy, what's going on? And he just melted. And
Yeah,
no one
if
could
you
believe
show
it.
no yeah, if you show no fear, most dogs won't bite you.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not afraid of you.
I remember
There's not
one
much I am
time,
afraid of.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one time my dad took us to some guy's house that had bull mastiffs. Have you ever been up close to one before?
Yeah.
They're just about as big as a Great Dane. They're so big.
They're
But
beautiful.
these two mastiffs were in a pen up above the ground. And when we got there, the man come out and says, I see you brought your daughters. You need to tell them to stay away from that dog pen over there because those dogs will hurt those girls. And so I'm like, okay, yes, sir. I'll do what you ask. Karen, like you've heard me say this about my youngest sister, that she's she kind of laughs at danger, I guess. I don't know. But she was really young then. She must have been, I was 12, so she had to have been either nine in it. She was either 9 or getting close to 10 when that happened. She walked up to that cage and stuck her hand in the cage, and she was petting these two so-called ferocious dogs. And when the owner came out and saw what was going on, he about had a heart attack. Get away from them dogs, they're gonna eat you. And Karen turns around and just smiles at the man. She wasn't afraid of the dog, I guess. I mean, we were raised with pit bulls, so that kind of explains part of it. I didn't do it because I respect authority, you know. I wouldn't, you know. But her, she was always doing something like that. Look, all I gotta do is go, oh, look at the color.
That's great.
What do y'all think about the color on this?
I think it's amazing.
Let me press it so you can get a better look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that. Did you?
Not no. But that's how, that's how it rolls.
Yes, like
absolutely.
Wow, neat colors. And you notice there's no hot colors in this one.
Just make sure that you post it so you get credit for it.
I'll get it posted.
Yeah.
And then I'm definitely gonna make another one.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna make it the same size?
Yeah. Probably. That way I can, You think I should make a bigger one or something?
No, just asking.
Because I have enough the yellow to redo the center, because that was 2.5 inch strip that I had left over. That's why I couldn't use it for the outside, because you needed that 5 1/4 to make the triangles for the flying geese part.
Do you make your flying geese 4 at a time? Have you ever used that method?
I have tried and they never come out. They always end up as more wonky than doing it this way.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's probably because maybe I don't quite understand the mechanics of it, maybe. You know how you sometimes you do something because you have to do it, but you really don't understand why you got to do it that way.
Correct.
And maybe that's why I struggle with this flying geese thing. Or it's just I've made it too complicated one. But it is a nice color. That I'm happy with that lilac, picking that lilac part. Great choice, everybody picked it.
Go team.
Yeah. Looky here, there it is.
So pretty. I like how soft it looks too.
It does look soft.
Yeah.
These colors actually go well together. I just love this turquoise anyway. And turquoise goes with yellow. It also goes really well with purple, I've noticed. Hey Ted, how are you doing? Okay, let me see what everybody's saying. Shelby says it's beautiful. Lori says pretty. Judy says she loves it. Quilting in a Country. Lori says, I love the color. It's fantastic. Pat says, awesome block. Ted says, woohoo, beautiful. And Kathy Klein, hey there, I didn't see you sneak in. She says, pretty. Okay, let me do something real quick. I need to change a link in my YouTube so that when we stop, any of you who want to drift over to Becca's can by just clicking on the link. So let me fix that real quick. I need to find Becca's link first. All right, so did you guys enjoy this little block building session with me today? What do you think about that? I think that us working together, creating colors has been fun for me. I hope y'all have enjoyed it as much as I have, because I really like doing it this way where I ask your opinion. Say, do you like this color or do you hate this color?
Well, it's like, and some people they're trained in color theory and different things like that. So they understand it. So they have more of an insight. That's what I really like about my mom. I'll ask her a few questions because she helps me out a little bit.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Share. Copy the link. Now we're going to go back to my video. Click edit. It's weird that you can do this while you're on a live.
Yeah.
Okay, where is the part where you tell the redirect? There we go. We're going to trash can that one. Add a new one. Share outside. Make sure I get the right link though. I don't want to accidentally put the wrong one in here. Okay, got that. Click save. Okay, looks like I have it there now. Okay. I think we got it set. All right. Pat says she loves watching me work. Are you ready to call it quits? Yes. It's it's 10:51 and Becca's live starts at 11, which is 11 my time, sorry. Just go backwards 3 hours.
Yeah, it starts in 9 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, in 9 minutes. So I can drag it out for another 8 minutes if you want to. Let me see what you're doing. Jess?
Oh, I am. Oh, let me unpin this. Boom, boom, boom. Do I have another pin? Might be. There we go. So I've created a few of these that tonight.
Oh, that's cute.
And then here are the star points that go across. Oops,
Nice.
that one's wrong. Hold on. You don't want to see that one. These are the star points that go across the top and the sides. And it'll eventually make this block right here.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Do they
So
have
I
a
need to make 6 of those.
Do they have a PDF form of that pattern?
Yes, they do. Underneath Flamingo Toes by Beverly McCully. Yeah,
Can
she
you
does.
share the link with me in my messenger so I can go on a hunt?
Absolutely.
I would appreciate it. Okay, let me see here. Let me share Jess's channel. And while I'm sharing Jess's channel, you want to tell them one more time about your channel?
Yeah. So my handle is So Blessed by Jess, and on that channel you'll find tutorials of how to make blocks and some quilts. I don't really go into the whole story about making quilts very often. It's more block related, but it's just helping you put blocks together and just seeing how that works. But I have a really wonderful passion that I want to share with you all in the quilting world. And it's just something I love to do and I want to get it out there and I have fun with it. So I'm also a teacher, so you won't see as much content from me at the moment, but I'm trying to at least post once every other week. But during this December, I'm going to be doing a Vlogmas and we're going to put a whole quilt together. So you can go and just check out that video and see if you like it and hit subscribe and like and comment and do all those fabulous, wonderful YouTube stuff. So
I'm glad you
yeah.
brought that up. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so here's what's going to happen for me in December. And do you think this? Let me ask y'all's opinion on
Oh, I'm
one
still
thing.
big. Still big.
Oh, sorry. I thought about I was thinking about let's make a list of the things I want to get accomplished in December and post it on my community tab. If I put that on my community tab, will that give you guys an idea of what I'm planning? Or does it you'd never read it and don't care? Okay, so think about that question.
I read community tabs.
Okay.
Thanks, Frank.
He just subbed you. Yay. Thank you.
Yay.
Okay, so here's some of the things that's going to happen in December. I also have a couple projects that are Vlogmas. I'm going to do my Vlogmas a little different than most people do, especially the one with Cotton Cuts Rosa Your Way fabric box. Last year I did it with Danny of So Not an Expert, and she got the cotton box and I got the boutique box. And then what we did is we did a video once a week and we rotated it back and forth. She tried to do a dual channel, and the dual channel just was terrible. I mean, it was so stressful that I ended up not doing it that way.
Yeah.
And so one week I would do it, the next week she would do it, and but we were showing each other's what we got in our box. And what we do is we would do 7 days worth of one video. So here's my plan this year. My box will be every day I'll open one of my packages on a short video. I'll be video when I do it, but I'm going to take that one fat quarter because each one is going to be a fat quarter. I'm going to take that one fat quarter and I'm going to make a block. And that'll be following when I open the package up. And I'm going to do 7 days. I'll open every day, but I'll be making something every day. And on the 7th day, I'm going to combine all those little mini clips into one video. And then once a week, on the 7th day, you're going to get 7 days worth of Vlogmas in one video. Because I don't want to go live every day. It's too much. The other thing that I am participating in is the Cotton Cuts mystery table runner and placemats. And I'll probably just I think I'll just video doing parts of it and then make like a little mini video. I don't know that I'm going to do per se every week of Vlogmas because people are already posting videos about the table runner and the placemat. And I haven't seen my colorway on anyone's videos, but I feel like it's redundant to just, I could just incorporate it into something else, or I could sew it on a live. That's actually a great idea, sewing it on a live. See how far I got, because they're already, I just got my pieces yesterday, the whole package yesterday, and she just dumped week 5's clue. So I have 5 weeks to catch up on. So I might just use my live and start on it. Maybe I'll do part of it on a live tomorrow night, and then the following Saturday do more on that live, and then the Saturday after that do it until I got it all done. Actually, that's a great idea, so I might do that.
What time do you go live on Saturdays?
4 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
The other thing, I'm going to make sure that I get finished. This is going to be me dropping the gauntlet here, and I need all of y'all to remind me, you need to finish Raspberry Kisses. So I'm going to finish this quilt. So my next thing to do is get the sandwich made, which means I need to figure out what I want to put on the back of it. Go ahead and quilt it. And then we're going to do a very colorful binding to go on it. So let's hope I can get this done by New Year's Eve. Now, see, I'm sewing 12 hours on New Year's Eve. So whatever I didn't get finished by New Year's Eve is going to be part of the plan of what to do. The other thing is I want everybody to think about joining in. If you come on my 12-hour live, you do not have to stay the whole 12 hours. I'm not asking you to do that. But what I'm asking is if you come and spend a little time, we are going to do a community project. I'm going to be sharing the link for that Moda Blockheads 3 Love Block. And I'll start posting about it this coming week. So to remind you, and it's going to get posted about it every week, I'm going to remind you, go download the PDF file, join us, get some fabric to pick it out. And we're going to sew this block during the 12-hour. And even if you come in, it doesn't matter what time you come in, just bring which size you plan on doing, because it's paper piecing, your fabric, and we're going to sew. And then after everybody's made their little love block their way, then you can share it over on my Instagram. I'll give you a link for that. And because some of y'all don't Facebook, the ones who Facebook can just put it in the Quilters Facebook group. So that's my plan, is this, the love block, the Vlogmas, and anything else that I have time to finish, I'll work on those. But I definitely want to finish this because this is so cute. Oh my God, this is so cute.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching you do that project.
This was so much fun. When I saw this at QuiltCon, I'm like, and then the one they had at QuiltCon was it was either a throw size, I guess, or maybe a twin size. And they had it stuck in the corner of their little booth. And when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I want to make that. That looks so cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get some inspiration when I go. Yeah,
I did. And that made me want to do it. And this is such an easy project to do with people. It was just really simple. So, yeah, that's my plan. All right. What time is it now?
8 o'clock.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming to my live. Thank you, Jess, for coming.
Yeah.
If you want to sew with me Saturday, let me know and I'll send you the link. Anyone else who wants to join me on the so if you want to get on, I don't know if you want to get on Zoom or not, but if you want to get on Zoom, drop me a message either on my community tab of my YouTube, on one of my or on this video. You can comment on this video down below after the live is done. I answer every comment someone makes. I don't ignore anyone's comments. Or go over on Facebook and send me a message. Thank you for coming to the live. And remember, live, laugh, love, dream. And what do we do with all that? We create something fun. Good night, everyone, and see you on the next live.